And Vinny.
Hello.
We have all returned after our Christmas break. We are back and ready to go, and we'll see just what chaos is in store for today, for the return, obviously. So, are you all sitting comfortably?
Yeah.
And there's a story.
Wonderful. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope you all enjoyed your time away. Now that you're all back, well and recouped, let us begin. Last session, which was quite some time ago, our party of adventurers, Cat, Damien, Curve, Mortar, Romulus, and Vinny, had gotten themselves wrapped up in something once again. After bumping into Damien and his new companion Mortar, who were in hot pursuit of their target, the party were debriefed on who they were chasing, this Leo individual. A locate object and a minor misunderstanding regarding Mortar and the way the party do things later, and they managed to enter into the tower of Zaka's Crossing, something that had never been known to have happened before. Chasing down their targets within, they came across several groups of arc steel constructs that were guarding the interior of the structure. This and Damien's garments in relation to Leo got them into a couple of scraps, which ultimately ended peacefully. However, during the midst of a fight against some rogue Arcsteel Might swarms, Cat and Romulus left the battle somewhat accidentally via a teleportation circle. As the rest of the party cleared up the events of the rogue Mites, Cat and Romulus had a run-in with Leo and his group. After a few threatened messages later, Romulus was brought to near death via a hold person spell combined with the smiting potential that Leo carried with him. Seeing Leo seemingly kill Romulus outright, Cat lost it, transforming willingly into a monstrosity that rampaged through their group, as the rest of her party arrived to lend their aid. The battle was hard fought, and the party struggled, with Cat eventually regaining control of herself just in time to assist in the protection and restoration of her allies, who were being picked off, one after another in quick succession. With the fight drawing to a stop, Leo and his group pacified one way or another. The party had a moment to breathe. This tension didn't fade, however, as the Arcsteel Sentinels that had arrived earlier in the fight didn't take kindly to the wild and violent nature that Cat had taken on, and tried to separate her from Sychania, with no success, I might add. This, in turn, with the party discussing their next actions, led to the party to a minor scuffle, and many of them vying for the beads that Leo had once worn, the possible source of his power, with Mortar taking the chance to destroy them in his own way, given Cat's near incident of destroying more than she could chew. The beads were absorbed into his firearm, expanding its power and potential beyond its current limits. Having resolved just exactly what they were going to do with Leo, who passed on his oath to Damien, they left the dungeon and returned to the surface of Zaka's Crossing, the beloved city, for this party, where the watchmen were keeping their attention ready for their arrival. Explaining the full situation to them, save for Cat's lost memories, they managed to get away almost scot-free, except for Mortar, who had to pay his way out. With the party set free once again, Romulus got to have a nice friendly chat with his sibling, before departing himself onto the street and regrouping for the next steps of their adventure. All of you stand in the soft orange hues of the lantern lights, otherwise hanging and illuminating where you stand beneath the walkways themselves. The sound of the distant thoroughfare catching your attention as you begin to identify your next objective, the smells of mildew and dust, as well as the presence of others as they depart, Leo and his team leaving to be escorted back to Paloon. As the rest of you are left, not in darkness, but in dimness, preparing for your next steps.
Do you call him dim?
Crab shouts out who you calling dim to to the area around.
He's the DM, we're players, we are dim.
Look, I wasn't going to say it, but
Hey, someone had to.
someone had to.
What time is it? Sorry, you said.
There's not as much light as the usual day, but you are also currently buried somewhere within Zeka's Crossing. Being a multi-stacked city, there's no real light from where you currently stand. You'd need to enter one of the windows or the thoroughfare to get a full idea of what time of day it is. You've been in there, in the police station, for what you gather around 3 to 4 hours, but at the end of the day, you don't know what time it was, given you don't know how long you were in Zeka's Crossing.
Is it
Before
socially acceptable for a nap, guys?
I was about to say, before Mortimer and I arrived, did you have somewhere you guys were staying?
Oh. Oh god. Oh no. Looks over at notebooks. No.
Okay, in answer to your question, the party stayed at their usual place, the Firefly Stacks.
That's the one.
They hadn't set themselves up there yet because they were in the process of going to the Taskmaster when they happened to run into you two.
Right.
But
So,
the Firefly Stacks is also where you two set up, I believe. So
Oh,
you've
I
already
don't know
got
about that
rooms
bit.
there.
we do.
Yeah, because I believe
Fantastic.
you headed into the city and then you learnt and you kind of just I believe you
Hello?
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 Oh
Hello?
no.
Okay.
No.
I can hear you guys.
It's because he
Yeah.
activated the it's only EE
Oh, yeah.
not BT.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Tempted fate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shame.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Long live Chris.
there we go. Disconnected from server.
That's recompense for calling us dim.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What goes around comes around. I don't think people necessarily understand that as much as they should.
Mm. Very good.
I wonder if he's still talking.
Probably.
Let's just see how
often
long it
do
goes on
wonder
for.
this. I often do wonder.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like, I sit there and I'm like, I wonder if he's still just chatting away. And then sort of after 5 minutes, hello? It's like, very
I asked you a question 5 minutes ago, then kept talking. You didn't answer.
We should all just go quiet for a prank at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, I second that so bad.
Okay, I think we get like 10 minutes in and then go for it. Maybe 5, you know. Okay, we need a safe word. We need a word to be like this is. Okay, I'm gonna find an excuse to say the word velocity. Count 3 seconds and then be absolutely silent. If you can make sure you cut yourself off just about, go for it.
Okay. 3 seconds after velocity.
Velocity. I'm writing this down so I remember the right fucking word.
Yeah, this is Harlan's like reverse prank.
Forgets a safe
Saying
word.
sentences that are like leading into it and then never actually says it.
Oh, yeah.
Or you say it when you weren't meaning to. We all go quiet. You're like, why are you replying to me?
We seem to have reached a terminal speed.
Oh, damn!
Velocity.
Ah, yes, the velociraptors are very interesting creatures.
As all players start sweating, it's like, does that count?
We are visiting the velodrome.
Yeah, welcome to the world's new worst form of edging. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Be certain
oh.
that it dropped thinking it was coming.
Oh, it's fucking funny. Okay, I've got some mince pies that are still good, but I really I don't want to leave them any longer. So I'm going to be eating mince pies this entire session.
Respect. Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
The bad thing is they're the horrible ones that have icing on top. Don't like that.
Oh,
I've actually
Yes.
never tried that.
not a mince
It's-
pie.
Yeah, it don't feel great. It don't feel great. They're not
Oh,
bad,
really?
it's just
Yeah.
not right.
It
Did
doesn't sound ideal.
To be honest, though, I'll be honest here. Given you live up in the north, I'm surprised it hasn't been served with gravy.
Is that a hate crime?
Oh, there's about to be a fucking hate crime up
Is
here.
that a- Oh my word. Sometimes people just don't stop and ask.
Just to
that
check,
enough, you
you're
know?
not in New Zealand anymore, right?
No, it's not. It's in Hampshire. I can take
I
you
am
to the
vulnerable.
It's fair game.
Excellent.
Yes.
I won't need to wade through the seas of sheep.
Oh,
I don't know. I could flee to Wales.
Ah, that's well, you know, they
That
do
is
have a lot in
closer.
common.
Wow.
They both have high quantities of sheep. What on earth else could I possibly be referring to?
I don't know.
I'll
Mhm.
leave that
No,
alone.
no idea. Something to do with shearing.
Yeah.
Well, it begins with SH anyway.
You know, I'm just shearing the old sheep, yeah, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, plan your day while it's rebooting.
Oh.
Lovely
Well,
the
apparently
taste
I-
of mutton in the morning. Ooh, misses.
Planning the day will reboot. So,
Oh, so I'm
Let's see.
planning something.
but yeah, we're planning something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. So Dan needs warm weather clothing. Romulus is fine. You've got cats warm weather clothing.
Romulus is carrying
Alan?
cats.
Yeah.
Simon's got some. So it's literally just me, Curve, and Mortar who need warm weather clothing.
Mm.
Yep, one of you
Uh,
can have the best set I've got.
Does anybody else
I'm
need
pretty
things
sure that's
like
not K's.
yes? And then I guess it'd be things like people will want days of rations and stuff. Make sure you're up to.
How long will
On
you be
those.
sticking around
Absolutely, I'll
here?
I'll definitely need some rations for
Before we hit
sure.
the road?
I don't know that
I think we need to get a lot of rations.
I agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, because
I think we
how
need to get a
long
lot
is the?
and
Do we have
also
any
buy
idea how
more
long the
as
journey
we-
is?
Travel.
Yeah, I've planned for 2 weeks. That's my guess. Because I think if I plan for any more, I will literally have no money. Probably.
I need to get some iron and I need some coal.
Right.
Iron ingots, which should be a blacksmith. Coal.
Yeah. Probably same place.
Yeah. Well.
What do you need iron for?
Haha.
Oh, is that a private thing?
No, for a creature.
Oh, interesting.
For Cinder. Also, if Chris has us fighting Cinder, bring your ice weapons or cold weapons.
I just have some plate armor. Should probably sell
That's
that.
cool.
Oh yeah, I stole that off of someone, didn't I? Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, the dead one.
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yes.
you- Stole what you
Yes.
said.
Do
And
feel free
anyone-
to sell that.
Yeah, I was just gonna check. Like, you're a paladin? Did you want?
I
Yeah, do you have flame?
I'm trying to remember what I learned about its effects on me, and I can't offhand.
Plate armor has effects on you.
Well, oh no, I'm more thinking sort of weight and my effect on my own dexterity, which is already crap as it is.
I mean, it'll give you
Depends
disadvantage on
on
stealth,
That's-
but that's about it.
That's the only thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll grant
Better
you,
AC.
like, yeah, significant AC bonus. So it's always worth going for it if you can.
Yeah. What would that be like? 18
Yeah, 18.
plus. You got a shield, right?
shield,
Yeah.
So 20 AC base.
20 AC
you're looking
base,
at,
and you might have other bonuses.
which is really good because I mean,
It only increased my AC by 1.
Like that one.
and
can
what's
make
your
a
AC
difference.
currently?
Sorry?
What's your AC currently?
With my shield, 19.
Yeah, so then it should bump you to 20, right? If you're
20.
putting the plate armor on.
Yeah, I don't know what weight that would add on. Probably more, obviously.
That's all right. I mean, Mortar's packing light, so if you have anything that you want him to carry, obviously I'm not that strong, but if there's any light bits you want him to carry, he can.
And disadvantage on stealth with already a -2.
I sincerely doubt there will be an opportunity where you will need to stealth. You
Oh,
specifically.
Also, whatever armor you're wearing currently, probably already. has it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, that's
Hello.
something to consider.
Hello.
Hello.
So are we saying fuck E or fuck BT?
I think that was just the weather, honestly,
That's fair.
because there was it was really really windy at the time when that happened.
I don't think
Yeah,
fuck
they were saying that there
works.
was some.
Screw the weather.
I think there was there was a weather warning on the train I was on, basically saying that around Dorset and stuff, it's supposed to be really bad.
Yeah, down here it's pretty windy.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: I'm having to close my streaming software because it's not liking the fact that it needed to reconnect.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oof.
Okay, let's reload Streamlabs. When the internet goes down, it sometimes does wig out a little bit, but that's fine. It means you just need to crop 2 bits of recording together.
C'est la vie.
It'll be fine still. Okay. Stream seems to be back up. Excellent. Right, we are back. Internet got interrupted by weather. It happens, especially here in Britain. Right. Have we got everybody here still?
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully you used
Ready
that
to
time
go.
wisely. So,
We did actually, believe it or not.
Yeah,
You're
funny,
all-
funny enough,
that's
yeah.
that's a first. And I missed it. Right. So you're all currently standing in the alleyway in front of the watchman station where you were detained. What would you like to do?
Shall we go and find out
Us.
roughly what the time is? And then either hit the shops or go hit the hay and then hit the shops tomorrow?
Yeah.
Bastard took my money.
I'm sure you deserved it.
Okay.
Bastard still took my money.
Walking and talking. The events otherwise flowing off the exhaustion of the day that you've had. You otherwise travel your best direction as you can to the nearest thoroughfare or window. I'd like someone to make me a survival check, if you would be so kind.
I'm assuming I'm taking this.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think you'll survive.
By all means.
Go for it.
Oh boy. Yay. Let's do survival.
Survival.
I'm sure Romeo's is good at survival, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty good. Now I'm gonna
Tuesday.
I'm gonna really spin this around. You gotta get the dice to the right velocity.
Nice. Average. Easily enough, following the sounds of the thoroughfare in the distance, you otherwise head in that general direction, and otherwise manage to make it there in good time. Following the thoroughfare to the nearest window, you can see what looks to be the day markets of vegetable stands and similar produce or materials are beginning to close down. It is getting closer to the kind of mid to late evening. It is around, from what you can guess, somewhere between 6:30 and 7. But that's the time that you can otherwise gauge. Shops will still be open, although they will be in the process of closing. So if there's any shops that you do want to go to, there won't be more than one per person, I would say, unless you want to divide and conquer. And if you unfortunately roll too low on your investigation, then you may not get to the shop while it is still open. So where would you like to go? Hello? Hello? Have I disconnected again? Is anybody there? Is this a Discord thing? Hello?
Okay, there probably should have been a fail state.
Yeah, that should have been
Yeah,
failed.
yeah,
we should have definitely said time. The funny thing was, I was watching, everyone's mouses were moving. I was like, if anything, that's going to be a giveaway that we were just
I
trying.
I felt so bad. Oh my god.
Horrible.
Was that
Oh my
Discord
word.
being?
No,
No, that's just us being...
we were being dicks.
Oh, you lot being.
We were like, how long would he keep talking for before we realised
I was-
we're not talking?
Man, I felt so bad. Oh my word, that hurt.
You conspired against me.
We were planning
Oh
something.
my word.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do.
I'm so
Everybody,
sorry.
if you don't have advantage, have advantage for pulling that one on me because that was very well executed.
Oh, thank you.
However, I am also giving my monsters advantage or inspiration for their next
Reasonable,
fight.
At this
reasonable.
point,
I'm not gonna lie. I nearly cracked there.
Oh
I
God,
nearly broke. I was
God.
like,
I'll be
I
honest.
need to say something. Like, I was
Before
like,
Simon cracked, I was going like, okay, I'm gonna give it 5 more seconds, and then I'm just gonna come in with a line of "What shall we do with a drunken sailor?" and just.
Oh, it's so much better.
Oh,
The thing
man,
is,
that's so
I didn't
funny.
hear when Simon cracked. I could see that, like, New Jamie was lighting up, and I was like, wait, is it just my Discord's broken? So I left, and I didn't hear when Simon said anything.
Oh,
Oh,
I
man.
came back,
okay,
and you
yeah.
just all weren't talking for a bit, and I was like, wait.
I'm sorry that we scared you a little bit there.
No, it's fine. I was like, my internet hasn't gone. Everything's still working.
they well played with the use of velocity in that sentence.
Mm,
Oh my
you.
god.
I was trying to think of a way to bring it up because I didn't want to.
Alright, we're gonna need another code word now.
It's fine, we can change these around.
I was gonna say, yeah, we'll change the safe word.
The secret word is rhinoceros. No.
So, what are you doing?
Well, you rolled the survival, right?
Yeah, and I told you exactly where you went, so you know.
So, we're going...
Yeah, that does become a 15 all told.
That was a good enough roll. I mean, you know what? No, you go the wrong way. All the shops are closed.
Well,
No,
know
you
what,
get
that's
there on
fair.
time still.
I need to grab some iron ingots and some coal, so I'll head to a shop that would possibly look like it sells that.
So a forge.
Yeah, forge, a weapons shop.
Mortar stands there for a minute, kind of kicking his heels a little bit, kind of like looking kind of surreptitiously down at his very, very empty coin purse and kind of gives Curve a side eye, like, so you want to go shopping?
Do I smell poverty?
Honestly, yeah, yeah. It's Mortar's constant state of being is squalid.
Alright, I turn to him, look, and sort of say, okay, but you owe me a favour.
Oh boy. Can I do some kind of insight check to see? Because Curve is scary. Like, really scary.
Go for it. And then Curve, go ahead and roll me a
Mortar's also-
persuasion or deception of your
Mortar's-
choice. Or intimidation.
Mortar is incredibly intrigued. Oh, sorry, I've just disconnected from tabletop for some reason.
Same,
So,
I'm just
um,
connecting back.
Oh dear.
yeah, hold on. So,
You took the ruse too far.
indeed.
What ruse?
But yeah, Mortar is incredibly intrigued and a little bit scared. Okay, I need to shut this down right quick, just because this isn't responding at all.
I will roll for you. Do you know what your insight is?
Thank you. Yes, I have, because of my handy dandy new mouse, I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh. There we go. Insight, I have a +3.
So 18
Oh.
versus Curve's
30-20.
dirty 20.
Shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Curve is, in this instance, remains intimidating. And the idea of backing out of a favor after asking something so obviously is
Yeah.
making you a tad worried, but at the same time,
Uh-huh.
she wouldn't do any harm, would she?
Surely, I mean, we're best friends after all. I guess I'm going to. Yeah, I guess Mortar with that insight will go, yeah, she won't hurt me. I'll shrug. I'm going to go, sure. Is there a dotted line you want me to sign?
Oh, your word's enough.
Oh, okay, cool. Great, yeah, favor sounds great. So we're going to the realm of the Ice King, was it?
The Ice King's domain.
Ice King's domain, got it. Is there much that Mortar, since he's quite traveled and stuff, is there anything he might know about that? Where I'm kind of going thinking outside the box as to what we might need.
Roll me a history check, but I'll say there is some surface knowledge already due to the background that you come from.
Gotcha. So it'll be history, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Just close that. That is a 7.
7. Outside of your surface knowledge, there's nothing extra you really know off the top of your head. The surface knowledge that you do know is that most of the time, people in your line of work don't go that far south. Not because there's a lot of criminals there, but because there's the lack of. It's not a
That makes
good
sense.
hunting ground for bounties. There aren't many people there who do commit crimes, and when they do, they usually get outed by the community they try to hide in. The community down in the Ice King's domain is very closely knit, and it consists of raiding groups, scavengers, gatherers, and basically community people. So ones who would set up shelters and such. You know that going down there is usually not necessarily a death sentence, but dangerous to do so on your own. It's not the easiest place to go to. Most of the time it consists of snow, ice, wind, and rain in some fashion or another. Sometimes, depending on how close you get to the mountains, heavy storms, and the forests down there are otherwise cold tundra, otherwise taiga forests, and inhabited with a lot of dangerous and old creatures. A lot of the ones that survived any of the real dangerous times of the world, such as the atrocities, they survived down there because they were left to their own devices.
Interesting.
So it's the most untamed portion of the world, you could say.
Cool. Okay. I guess with my 7 roll, I kind of go, oh, I have a bit of background knowledge, but I'm like, there's nothing really I can think of that outside of the box we might need.
Yeah, it's just one of those cold weather, so some cold weather clothes, a tent, which you know Damien has, food, stocking up on rations and stuff, and making sure that if you do have extra water with you, you have a method with which to melt it. The equipment and cooking stuff that Romulus seems to carry is good, but you don't know how well it would work down south. Obviously, Romulus would know more keenly, but still.
It'll last. It'll do.
Okay. No worries.
Probably.
Sure. I'll head off when Curve is ready.
Okay.
Damien, has Damien noticed them? Side.
Sorry?
Has Damien noticed Curve and Mortar move aside?
I'd say, yeah, Damien is, as Curve and Mortar otherwise begin to head off on their own little shopping trip, unless if anybody would like to go with them, or if anyone would like to go with Cat, there are opportunities here.
Damien would like to accompany Mortar and Curve, but maybe hold back a tiny bit and be stealthy.
Okay. Like, being the quiet as a mouse that's otherwise caught in a trap but still alive, Damien, you follow behind as stealthily as you can, being their shadow. A very noisy one, but a shadow. Meanwhile, is anybody going with Cat?
Nah, Cat's gone on her own.
I mean,
I'm going
Can
with
we
Cat.
pass-
There's no other option. I have to make sure Cat doesn't end up doing something or.
Okay, well,
I
Cat
was gonna
isn't
say,
going
could
on
we-
her own. Pterodor's going with her.
Yeah.
I was going to say, could we not make it where our group goes together? Like, could we not do a pass by the forge and then go to where we need to go? Or is it in
You
completely opposite
could,
directions?
but because of it, if you're wanting to hit all of the stops that you're wanting to go to as a
I
in
see,
general,
it's the time
you're going to
frame.
have to split ways because you've basically got half an
Gotcha.
hour till shops close, so you haven't
Makes
got the
sense.
most amount of time. Now, some shops do open
Okay.
later, and those ones will be slightly harder to find, so a higher DC, but we'll be present.
I understand.
Is there any miscellaneous stuff you want me to go off and grab in that case? Since I can go in a third direction.
Oh, deep snow. Was there like stuff to help with transporting or walking through deep snow?
You'd want like snow boots and stuff like that.
For a horse, they may be a little bit difficult to
Oh,
find
for
and use.
For me, that's going to be a challenge.
Oh,
And
my
for
apologies,
Damien's
yeah.
horse is going to
Yeah.
be a challenge, but I'm thinking more like you lot. I mean, I can ride on Pterodor.
This is true. Damien's horse would still struggle, but Damien's horse is a full-blown horse rather than a young centaur. So
Does water walk work on snow?
That's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, water walk works on snow. It means that you can move across it quite fine, but if you hit like a patch of ice or anything, you do slide and then just basically eat snow.
Lovely.
Okay.
Better not be yellow
It's like an
snow.
emergency that
Never know.
option though.
Yeah, I
Right,
guess
snow boots
we
are
pass as a
graphs.
shopping list.
Mm-hmm. I'll grab some
Could we?
food
Should
as
we
well.
see about getting some like pythons as well in case we need like climbing, maybe some climbing gear?
Good shout. Some more rope and maybe some grappling hooks.
Yeah, grappling hooks is a good idea. If we're going to be, because I don't know the terrain all that well, but I do know dangerous climates. So if we can, get something to deal with that, then yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, there are three. I would say, with your surface knowledge, you know there's three types of climates down in the south. There are basically snow plains, where it's just snow in all directions, or just kind of flat, very short grass that's mostly frosted over and eaten and overgrazed by the local goats and herd animals. There's the
see.
mountain terrain, which is obviously very treacherous, but slippery and in some cases very prone to avalanches or rock slides. And then there's the taiga tundra forests, which are dangerous in the matter of the creatures that they hold as opposed to the weather that would be found there.
Do we think rather collectively that they may have some kind of similar? I've heard Mortar says I've heard that certain creatures up there can have a bit of a fear of fire. Is it worth us bringing something that can generate some heat?
I'm gonna have a fire elemental when we come out.
And you know what? That'll freaking do it. That'll
help
freaking do it.
Yeah, it would help with carving through the snow for all of you if you didn't have water walk, but yeah.
That's a good idea.
Doubt we'll be able to pick up firewood in this town, but it should be pretty available everywhere else, so we can pick some up later.
I was more thinking potentially. Is this place like we're still in Zaka's Crossing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still in Zaka's
Okay,
Crossing.
cool.
So
Yes,
the map,
I'm learning as well.
the map that's on the top portion here has the most accurate section
Gotcha.
for that. So
So-
you're in Zaka's Crossing on the bridge here, and then if you were to go south west from here, you'd hit Braylin. Braylin would be the next biggest city, which would have a lot of the supplies if Zaka's doesn't have them. But if you feel ready to do so, you can just go straight south or southeast from here, and you would hit the section that would be beyond this. Not this, because this is just this is above Zaka's.
I was more thinking, on our way in, whether or not it was our initial way in, were there any like magic item shops or anything like that where we might be able to get some fire-based magic shenanigans, or is that not an option in terms of this particular settlement?
There are magic item, not necessarily vendors or shops, but there are auctions.
I see.
Auctions have the ups and downs of, depending on how valued the item is in that moment, which I roll for, depends on how much overpriced or underpriced it may be.
Makes sense.
You also cannot guarantee getting specific items. So it's one of
Sure.
those that going in there, you might go, oh, there's an item which looks kind of cool, but the auction's in 3 days, so you'd have to wait for it. Or you'd get there and
see.
something similar. I believe, Vinny, you, with the book that you have, you can, in theory, repair it, so you have access to all the auction information when you need to, but the enchantment on that was going to cost, if I remember correctly. It was going to cost a bit that you currently didn't have.
Yes, I don't remember all the details.
No, I don't remember all the details either, but I remember that it was one thing that you could, in theory, get it repaired, but it would be a costly endeavour.
Yeah, possibly more of a long-term thing.
Yeah.
In the meantime, would people in this town have a non-fire-based method of keeping themselves cool? Not cool, warm.
Ooh,
Let's
warm.
work out.
Well, that's a brilliant idea.
You haven't been in too many homes, so you don't know, but you can certainly have a look around. Either ask around or potentially go for buying any.
The only home that we've been into here, somebody threatened a mother and a child.
I am learning.
I heard
do
smothering
not
a
trust
child,
me right
what?
now. You
Yeah,
see, Romulus is on board. There is a man who understands what needs to be done.
Yeah,
The only thing I understand is that all of you are fucking insane.
Right, well, add it onto Mortar's list of crimes then. Broke into someone's home and forgot to check out the furniture.
hmm
Hey, you know what? Actually,
I can forgive a lot of things, Mortar, but not paying attention to the craftsmanship of our...
I'm sorry, I didn't realize what my objective was. I prioritized threatening a mother and their child over the furniture. What do you want from me? I am new to this culture. You guys have very strange priorities.
I'm gonna add the crimes of Mortar to the list.
Yay! I'm not on my own anymore.
Hey,
Who in this party has committed no crimes?
Me.
The answer is me.
I'll give it
That
time.
is
We
objectively
will.
incorrect.
Actually, no. By default, you're my.
What crimes of mine can
you're
you
my
name?
adopted dad, so they carry over mine to yours.
Yeah, as
You're
parent
my
and
legal
your guardian.
representation.
Oh yeah, you have to take responsibility. Yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah.
right. So in actual fact, her crimes are yours.
Okay, but other than Cat's multitude of crimes,
Which are also yours by default.
seriously, I don't actually remember committing any crimes other than holding on to drugs for a little bit, but then we did give them up.
Oh,
as is-
yeah, holding on to drugs.
That's a
is fine.
crime. Possession
Actually-
is a class A.
Okay. We genuinely did follow the proper procedure of getting them taken away by a guard,
That's fair.
and it's not like we purchased them.
True, but it doesn't save the fact that you just took a barrel of drugs, knowingly knowing they were drugs.
Would you rather we left them there?
You spent an
There
entire
were
dungeon
children
carrying it
around,
around.
Chris.
You're not going to be giving children drugs.
And this
Why
idea
do you
is
hate the children
hilarious.
so?
Irresponsible
just find this-
guardian.
I just find this hilarious because like we're just walking around and we're just going, so what are your crimes? And just like a parasitic guard just walk by. And we're just there like, no, you know, all of this stuff. Oh yes, I broke in and threatened a mother and a child. What did you do? Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, just and the guards are just there
It's
like
fine.
everything's fine.
They're probably just
Yeah.
like,
It's just-
nah, we're not
They're just
even.
It's too
we've
late in
seen
the day.
these guys too many times now.
Oh for sure, they're just there like
Done.
hell.
They just came out of the police station. They can't be guilty, right?
Every time they go to the police station, they upset someone, so they're just like,
Yeah.
just leave them. It's not worth the paperwork.
They've got 1 day of retirement left. They're like, I get involved in this.
Anyway, so we have. So I will split the party accordingly. So we have. Cat and Romulus going one way. We have Curve, Mortar, and Damien going another, and then we have Vinny on his own. Correct?
Yeah.
Okie dokies.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough being
So-
a dad.
Let's begin with Vinny. What were you looking for?
So, I was going to get miscellaneous stuff, so the climbing gear, is going to pick up some long life rations as well.
Okay.
And some water as well. What can we... You mentioned that it freezing is going to be a concern.
Yes, so you would either need a container to stop it from freezing. Alternatively, because usually when adventuring is had, I don't have you guys carrying a barrel of water with you everywhere, because you will come across natural streams, brooks, and even like just sections of clean water in the form of ponds and lakes, or catching it from rainfall. But when you're going to somewhere of this environment, you're going to need to take the water with you. You could take a barrel of water with you. It will freeze, which will mean that if the weather gets better, the barrel may be damaged, which could cause it to leak. But you also need a way to unmelt it, which if Romulus has the stuff for that, then that would work.
Okay,
Romulus had a barrel.
In fairness, I do have. This just carrying on with logistics and stuff. I do have my pocket door thing, so we could store it in an alternate plane.
That's a
This
good
is true.
idea.
Yeah.
What about
That's
the
a
bag of
very good
holding?
idea.
How well would that protect?
Bag of holding would protect the water just fine.
Perfect. There we go. So we've got
Bag of
water.
holding, from what I remember, only affects food, and from what I remember with the rules of bag of holding from campaign 1 is that it just makes it all rubbery regardless of what food it is.
If it's in
So
there
that's
for over
fine.
a certain period of time.
Yeah, if it's in there
better
for over,
rubbery food than no food at all.
yeah, it's one of those that if you were to get, oh yeah, I got like 3 bags of rock candy and you left them in a bag of holding for a month, you'd pull them out and they'd be like old bits of leather.
Wiggly,
They would
wiggly.
still taste like rock candy, but they would be old bits of leather instead of rock candy, despite
Yeah.
the very
Fun
obvious.
fact: this is
consistency.
actually how they make jerky in this world.
Yeah,
It's
for
just
sure.
stuff in bags of holding. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, like there are 2 ways of making it. There's the nice way where you add salt and leave it out to dry, and then there's the other, which is just shove it in a bag of holding and wait a month.
That's the mass-produced one.
Yeah, that's where the mass-produced jerky isn't that great. But anyway, so long life rations will be fine. You can get those quite happily. Climbing kit and all that are also good. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check in general, just to see where you might find all of these. And water as well, if you are going to be putting it in a bag of holding, it would be fine. Plus you'd have snow around you if it does snow, so you'd have some access to water every now and then, but it would be one of those, having
Yeah,
fresh water in
we'd
case of
want
emergencies. is
More
good.
storage, because it
Yeah.
will be less frequent to find it. The investigation, that's a 14.
14. Looking around, you don't see any like regular vendors selling long life rations. Most of them are selling fresh produce or other ingredients for the regular day, and a few individuals are selling fresh baked goods or something similar that they're now taking down and preparing to either go feed to the pigs or take home and eat. As you're otherwise thinking about where might be a good place to go and pick up this sort of stuff, you consider a few options. There are a few of the dens which might have a few places that deal in food. You know that they basically work for every form of crafting and craftsmanship, so it's quite possible. Otherwise, the next best place would probably be the Cartographers Guild. Was it Cartographer? No.
Cataloger.
No, not Cataloger. The
Den of Furs.
No, the Cartographer. No, that is the one that you go to get the maps. Yeah, because they have a bunch of adventuring gear being sold outside it. It's not necessarily marked up in price. It's highly sought after.
Yes, going to the Den of Furs is not going to be a good
No,
idea.
that's what I was like.
Speaking of
No.
which, before, like this morning, before the dungeon, which was like 2 months ago at this point, I did pop in there and leave a letter. Can you remember exactly what
Yes.
that said? It was something about how I'm going to try and help Carvern, but I don't remember the exact text. Actually, I don't think I wrote it out as an exact letter, so never mind.
Yeah, I believe you were going to send me an exact letter once it was done, but for the time being, you said it basically just says, "Carvern's in trouble. I'm going after her. If whoever's after her comes back to the city, don't give them a warm welcome or something like that.
Hmm.
Or if anybody else comes
Yeah,
looking
something
for her,
like
that
that.
sort of thing.
Yeah. But yes, I will not be going back there a second time.
It
So,
wouldn't
yeah.
necessarily be the Den of Furs for reference. It would be one of the other dens
Okay.
that partakes in it. I'm just double checking now which one would be the one that you would actually go to. You'd probably go to either the Den of Flesh,
Does.
the Den of Pastries,
Oh,
That sounds more delightful.
no, it would just be those two. Those are the only two which really deal with food.
And flesh.
Yeah, for food.
I am not okay with that.
Yeah, sounds like sounds like some other kind of establishment, but in actuality, it's a butcher's.
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
Think this thing through before you did it?
They didn't. I did.
No. There have been a lot of cease and desist orders put out on various flesh dens and dens.
For sure.
And they just show up, and there's just a bunch of really burly people holding butcher's knives and just pigs hanging from the ceiling, and they're like, "Sup?"
We help you.
There's a bunch of people walking home with like super high quality prime cuts of meat under their arms, looking really disappointed.
Yeah. and you just come to the butcher's like, I wonder why they always pay in ones.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just a money changer in the back, like, "Oh, so much change today."
Yeah, I don't know. The tax office
yeah.
is really suspicious of them. Anyway.
Anyway, so we'll say if you want to head to the den, to either of the dens, then that's fine. Otherwise, the adventuring or the cartographer's guild will be the best one. It's not the cartographer's guild. Oh, the pioneers guild. There we go. Found it in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, the pioneers guild will be the ones you want to head to because they're the ones who have the adventurers out front.
Okay, I'll head to the Yeah, I'll head to the Pioneers Guild then.
Okay. Heading over there. It's quite easy enough to pick up what you would otherwise need. Climbing kit would be its regular price. Grapple hook would be one, I believe a grapple hook stands at 5 silver pieces, but I could be incorrect with that. So if you want to take off a gold, then go for it. Otherwise, it would be 5 silver pieces. Climbers kits are 25 gold a piece, and they weigh 12 pounds. I'll say as you're otherwise going through with one of the merchants, they see you buying the climbing stuff, and as you're otherwise looking around, you kind of pick up a few of the long life rations. One of the individuals there, like a scraggly looking dwarf, what looks to be a twin set of braids, otherwise going down her front, otherwise looks at you and goes, "Where are you headed?"
South, the Ice King's domain.
Oh, it'll be
Stocking up
better.
for a long journey.
It'll be bitter and wet this time of year. Got all the clothes you'll need.
I've got all the clothes I need. I'm not sure about the rest of my compatriots, but I'm sure they'll sort themselves out.
Well, if you need to go anywhere, I know a friend.
That could be helpful, actually.
Someone over by third window, by the name of Casey. In other words, hands you a kind of riffles through what looks to be a purse of some form, pulls out one of hundreds of cards they've been given, of all different kinds and brands. And this one's relatively damaged, but they hand it to you. If they're still open, it'd be worth worth a go. They do work with all kinds of fabrics. Might be able to get something good from there.
I'll bear them in mind. By the way, since you seem to know a lot, do you know of any way to keep warm in the cold? That obviously I can buy here, so not involving fire.
Heat stones would be the usual way that adventurers would go about it, but we haven't had many for stock around here. They usually come out in about a month or two when winter's getting ready to hit. Otherwise, I know that the people around town use convenience crystals for warmth. They have a bonfire spell trapped inside of them to help them keep warm. It doesn't otherwise apply heat or burn anything around it. It's more of just a keep warm effect. It's kind of like a heat stone, but if it gets too cold, the crystal will break. So you need to keep it kind of encased and warm over a period of time. So if you otherwise hold it out in the middle of a blizzard, it'll shatter. But if you otherwise keep it in a contained area, like a box or a bag or something, it'll stay warm.
Okay, that's helpful.
If you're looking for convenience crystals, I know that in that particular avenue, you can go to the abbots below. Old Drell. They'll know what to give you for that regard. They usually accept a donation in exchange for giving you convenience crystals. Otherwise, they dole them out to the house. Unless you're a homeowner, they dole them out to you. Or rather, if you're not a homeowner, they'll dole them out to the homeowners here.
Okay, convenience crystals from the abbots. Alright, that's worth a look then. I didn't suppose there's anything else I might be missing.
Not really. I mean, if you're looking for anything, something that makes noise.
Noise?
Oh, we don't need to worry about that. We've got mortar.
I was actually going to say, that's actually a really good point. What if we get what if one of us gets trapped underneath an avalanche, something with noise, so that way we can locate where the person is.
A maraca?
You know, let's just make a band. I'll get this in
Yo!
Yes!
Did anyone else get disconnected?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did just now. Yeah.
Chris died.
I mean, the irony of him saying make some noise and then going silent is not lost on me.
Oh, honestly.
Do you think he thinks we're playing a trick on him again?
Probably.
Noise was the new safe.
Hopefully
I mean,
he'll look.
I'd be quite amused if it turned out he's actually playing a trick on us now.
That would be amazing.
That would
Oh, yeah.
be pretty funny. Yeah, I think it could be.
Entirely possible.
Oh, by the way, I have thought up the next secret word. We have to work out what to do on the next secret word, but I've got one, and I can think of a. There we go. The word is haberdashery.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow.
It's a good word.
You know what? Actually, that's very, very suitable for this. For this, absolutely.
Well, I'm wondering, should I perhaps locate some headwear?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take this. I'll probably crack straight away this time.
Okay, I'm
so
thinking
bad.
we need to think of something else to do.
Oh, I'm with you.
What? Any thoughts?
After 10 seconds, we keep talking like nothing happened.
Oh, it's good. It is good.
That is absolutely evil.
So how long do we stay quiet for?
Oh,
Because I think 10 seconds he might not notice is the problem.
Yeah.
And I can't use haberdashery in common parlance more than 2 or 3 times maximum.
I mean, we could stay silent for the length of the full 3 movies of the extended edition of the Lord of the Rings, but that might be 12 hours.
Jamie,
Hello.
just
Hello.
Hello. We're back again.
welcome back.
Aw.
Greetings.
Oh,
Right.
nice trick.
There
That
we
was
go.
good.
Yeah.
You,
cool.
we all
Stream
fell
is
for it, Chris.
reconnected.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Even Stream fell for it.
I know.
Ah, you got
Freaking got
bamboozled
him.
in the weather.
You made it Twitch.
Oh.
Oof.
I got Dan to sigh. I finally succeeded.
Ugh. Excuse me, I'm gonna go and contemplate my life choices in the corner.
Did he seriously disconnect straight away?
I
Oh,
think he just
no.
disconnected again.
Oh.
Oh, we are having like a. Oh, that's brutal.
Oh god.
Just a quick sound off. Am I forgetting anyone? Simon, Jamie. I'm gonna feel bad because it's been so long. Daniel?
Just Dan.
Dan, cool. And
Appreciate
Rebecca,
that.
okay. Is that I was just like, shit. I know it's D. I think it's Dan or Daniel, but I'm like, I don't
It's all
fucking
good.
remember.
It's all good, my man. It's all good, my man. If I'm in trouble, call me Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
Literally, it's works every time.
I'm just adding everyone into a little thing.
Oh.
As long as it's not a den of any kind.
I
So long as
assure you, this
so long as
10
it's
will
not
have
the death
zero
note.
flesh in it.
Oh man, that was a rough name.
Come on into the flesh. The den of flesh.
It really sounds like a Cthulhu level cult kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Mm.
Like, those are the vibes I got from that.
Yes, welcome to the den of flesh. How may I serve you today? May I serve you? Welcome to the den of flesh. Would you like to partake of some of our services?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you said the Den of Fresh.
No. The den of
That's
flesh.
that from them.
It's like, yo,
That's
my
right.
man, welcome to the Den of Fresh.
Is the clotted
The
cream
den of
recently
flesh.
clotted?
I will
Oh my word.
Plot
Oh,
something
no.
for you. I assure you, all of our suppliers are quite prompt.
Our
Freshness guaranteed.
I think this is one of the worst voices I've come up with. I
I'm here for it.
You know what?
Yeah, man.
Simon, Slipinator is significantly better than that voice.
The Slipinator is
You're not wrong.
rumored and legendary.
Do you want to hear it?
Oh, I've heard it. I've heard it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it again. Slipinator! Are you ready to slip into something a little bit more comfortable? Perhaps we should lubricate the wheels of politics. Mm?
What?
Oh god. Oh. And this was a character.
Oh my word.
It is a character. Oh, fun fact, Simon. Next time you interact with Slipinator, there's going to be some character development.
Oh boy.
I worry for the development of this character.
Hmm. Yes.
That's the line.
Ooh.
Am I back?
Hello.
Yeah, great.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Chris, please stay, because it's now broke to the level of the Slipinator. I can't.
I don't think we're gonna make it past this.
Well, we'll have to see. I think when I did the check router thing, it caused it to break for some reason. So it needed to restart itself, and my Steam still isn't connected.
You're not having a good time, are you?
Nope. Just want to play D&D. It's been so long.
Yeah.
FYI, grappling hook is apparently 2 gold.
Okay, 2 gold. 2 gold for a grappling. Okay, 2 gold for a grappling hook.
Grappling hook.
It's not the usual screen that stream gets to see, but you know what it'll do. So grappling hook is 2 gold. Climbing kit is 25 gold. Heavy winter clothes cost 50 gold each. Otherwise, they cost 25 each. For light winter clothing. Then let's see, was there anything else that was going to be going through? Convenience crystals are going to be 50 each, and you can go to the abbots for them. That's fine. If you take Damien with you, that'll cost you, I believe it's yeah, if you take Damien with you, I believe it costs 40 per, unless you're planning on bringing them back, in which case then they'll charge you upon their not safe return.
We just want to rent some crystals, please.
Yeah, you can.
Try before we buy.
Okay, I'm gonna restart Steam because Steam's having a bad time.
Never buy.
Yeah. Right. That's okay, let's close tabletop and stuff. For now we're on this screen. It's might sound a bit weird, but I need to close Steam and reopen it because it's being stupid. Yes, cloud error, I know. Steam's not connecting. Okay. So is that everything you wanted, Vinny?
How are we doing for rope? I should possibly pick up some more.
I've got 50 foot.
I've got.
I know. I don't need more. I've got tons.
Tons, literally tons.
No, I've got 80 feet of rope total.
I've got inventory. I have 100 foot. Why would I have 100 foot? I only have 50. Well, apparently I've got 100 foot of rope too.
That's handy.
Okay, yeah, we're fine for that then.
Okay. Right. In which case, let's move on to one of the other groups. So, Cat and Romulus, where are you going to be headed?
Somewhere that's going to sell iron ingots.
That will
Where's
be our
that?
first.
Either a smithy, whether that works in this place, a forge, maybe a weapons shop. They might be able to point us in the right direction.
Hmm. There may be a sort of industrial area that might be of worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Server is back up now.
Huzzah!
Let's hope it stays.
We jumping in, boys. We jumping in.
Feet first.
Feet first. Keep your legs straight when you hit the water.
Water.
Water?
I kept my legs straight.
Spike.
Yes. Oh, I love this group.
Okay. You want to go ahead and roll me an investigation check, please, Cat, as you're otherwise looking around for stuff.
Yeah, can Jeff give me the help action? Because I'm cool like that.
Romulus will give you the help action.
Can Romulus
Alright,
give
go
me
for
the health health action. That's
The health action, yeah.
That's +7, so that's 23.
Yeah, easy enough. You otherwise head to as you otherwise head to where you think there might be something for this particular shop that you're after. You otherwise head through and find what looks to be a rather large, not necessarily an industrial district, but at the edge there are a group of forges that are set up. Within you can see kind of the dark and gold crackling flames from within of what look to be... go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, actually.
I was going to say, what, are they like making live flames? Not can't be real, right? Not here. Not Zakers. That's like a lot. That's 26.
You recognise this as much as I'd say Romulus. This would be something that you aren't familiar with, but you could know as well. I'll say the cat's roll carries over here. This is aether fire. It's not strictly fire and therefore cannot burn wood, but it can melt things such as stone or steel. So in this case, it is quite happily housed within its wooden forge for the use of melting metal in crucibles or for helping heat it up for forging. As you otherwise head to the smithy, you can see that the smithy is winding down, the forges are being turned off, the individuals who are otherwise working are kind of finishing up their workload and beginning to... A few are hanging up aprons and mitts and cleaning off hammers, anvils, and just making sure that everything's winding down for the day. But it is what looks to be kind of this almost U-shaped building, kind of a blocky U building. The centre of it is otherwise open, so it's a series of walls with the centre bit very much open, kind of showing the full forge itself. And there are all manner of kind of ingots and a few bits and pieces here and there, but nothing weapon-based and nothing armour-based. This seems to be more of a metallurgist's.
Perfect.
Individuals who will melt metals and make alloys for commercial sale.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay. I will find someone that looks like they're a merchant instead of a... Well, I'll space someone there working there.
Okay. Looking around, you can see there are a number of individuals here. A few of them do take note of you and become very wary of Romulus. You can see these individuals. One of these individuals seems to be kind of this dark, kind of igneous rock Fluxian. The individual otherwise looking and being very wary of the sudden approach of a Minotaur and a Centaur. But you can see that one of their group kind of just gives a general nod and wanders over what looks to be kind of this dark black, what looks to be orcish individual, and the tusks out front, the kind of dark braided hair set back to one side, as they otherwise wander over in what's left of their, where they've taken off an apron, they have put on what looks to be just basic working travelling clothes, as they're getting ready to go home. Can I help you two?
Hi. I've come to do a little bit of shopping. Would you be able to provide me with 25 GP's worth of iron ingots and 25 GP's worth of coal?
That should be doable. 25 GP of iron ingots is going to be 2.5 ingots worth, so you'd have to buy 3.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
That'll be 30 gold for that. And you're after...
I'm sorry, the voice change is getting me.
So you... and what? You don't like my voice?
Oh god, it got worse.
Oh no! This old man is de-aging in front of us.
Anti-pubescence.
I want to go home. I want to lie
That's
down.
why we're leaving.
Benjamin Button. You know, and when I was younger, I was a bruiser in the beat squad.
I will go home and put my feet up. Right. And you're after some charcoal, you said?
Yes, please.
To check, does it have to be coal or charcoal?
It's either or.
Well, you're not going to get charcoal here, because we work with Aetherflyer. If you're after charcoal, you'll have to either go to some, I don't know, charcoal shop, or one of the smokehouses in the below.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I have kind of got some coal anyway, apparently. I didn't realise. But cool. All right, I will get the iron ingots then, please.
Sure. Otherwise, goes over to one section, kind of picks up 3 iron ingots, and then goes back over. Proffers the 30 gold that you give them, or 3 platinum, whichever you choose, and will give you the 3 iron ingots.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and sorry to disturb you so late in the day. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Well, that's all I need.
Wonderful. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. As I've said previously, I am wanting to make use of the good suck leaf as a core for a thing. I already have mahogany. What other thing? And I have the giant's tooth as a. I don't know. Were you planning on using the Giant's Tooth, or was I planning on using the Giant's
You were
Tooth?
planning on using the Giant's... I think...
I think the Giant's Tooth might have to be a later on thing, because it is a very high-tier ingredient.
You were planning on using the Giant's Tooth, the good
I love the fact that everyone calls it that now.
Yeah.
And you got the
I'd have
enchanting
to look
crystals
up it.
too.
Yeah, and the enchanting crystals. The main thing is that that's going to be an enchantment of a much higher caliber. So at the current rate, you won't be able to make it reliably for another few levels. The reason I say levels is because Cat's proficiency bonus will have to go up, and potentially even her intelligence if it needs to go up any further, in order to cap out the possibility of not failing it. If I remember correctly, I believe it's at 12th level the DC will decrease, because Cat will be basically a level 4 or a tier 4 enchanter at that point. So you've got a ways to go. She's currently a tier 3 enchanter, and that increases the DC by like 6.
Fair.
So you can prepare the stuff, but making it into something will be more of a higher tier.
Yeah. Basically, is there any metal here that might be useful in this, either in making it more easy to do or in improving the actual effects?
Nothing that would improve the actual effects, no. There'd be stuff that you could maybe turn into nails, which would be useful for the crafting aspect of making the staff or maul or whatever it is you're trying to make. But at the end of the day, that's a minor thing, which I can overlook quite happily, because if it's being enchanted and being made into a magical object anyway, you can fuse the parts that way.
Okie dokie. In that case, are there any metals in here that have any anti-magical properties, or could be made to have as such?
Here, no. Your understanding of metals, as much as it's not necessarily limited, it's not as expansive as, say, Sasha's was in Campaign 1.
Oh.
Going through and kind of having a look over the metals, these are your standard metals. There aren't any that would be out of the way. Most of them are simple metals, not alloys, and the ones that are made into alloys may have been packed away or boxed. Possibly because they were commissions or something similar.
Can I ask what metals? Can I ask what metals we have here? Like,
available at this metallurgist, there would be iron, tin, lead, steel, and that would be it that isn't already alloyed.
Iron, well, obviously steel, technically.
Yes. Steel is the only alloy that would be here,
So iron, tin, and lead. Let me just check something about tin.
And also you would have copper and silver as well.
Oh, okay.
And if there were rarer metals such as gold or platinum, they would have already been incorporated into potentially either an alloy or into a box for storage, given they are more precious metals. I can say go ahead and roll me a Arcana check if you want to see if there's any material that might be able to nullify magic, but
Can I give him help action here?
I will say no, because unless you're trained in blacksmithing, this will be a...
doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
I don't mind which one of those you take, really. It's about the same. I've got, I think, a +1 to Arcana, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's about 19. Thinking on it, there are myths and legends of certain types of metal that otherwise work on this sort of thing, but otherwise you're not sure. Actually, I'll say, Kat, if you want to make a separate roll, this one is for Arcana. DC for this is going to be incredibly high, because obviously this is something that,
I have no idea.
in relation to this, you may have read on it or know of it, but...
Okay. Right.
This is also while Chris goes and has a look for what it is.
Okay, that's 23 again.
23. Okay. I would say the idea of anti-magic being contained within an object is incredibly rare. The closest that you know of is the plants which you came across. And even then, it wasn't anti-magic, it was just strictly draining your magical power. You think about it, there's not really any metal or stone that does it. There may be some in history, legend, or if there is, it's unknown, maybe even a synthesized one, but you have no idea otherwise.
Okay. I don't think there's anything. I think it's more of a specialist thing if you want something along them lines. I don't think it's going to be something you're going to find in commonplace.
Understood. I'm just looking for anything that might be of use in crafting. Well, something that will allow me to be less at the whim of magical interference.
Hmm. Does that make you stronger against magics and attacking spells, or is that stronger against, for example, mental effects?
All would be preferable, but if I'm trapped in a magical barrier or someone is casting a spell at me, there is little I can do to prevent it. I have willpower and can so far normally manage to break myself out of things, but after that paralysis occurred, I am aware that my weakness lies in magic.
Okay. So you want something to help protect yourself against it, so making your saves better potentially?
Perhaps.
Okay. Chris, is there a way I could put something like mental hone on an item that has a daily charge?
Mental hone, I believe, gives you a training and a proficiency.
Yeah, you gain proficiency in either intelligence, wisdom, or charisma.
But that's an ability check.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
Saving. Yeah, saving throws. You'd be looking at something more like Intellect Fortress. Something like that. Yeah, Intellect Fortress. If you picked it up, you could put it in a rune and work with that. That would be a way of doing it. Mind Blank is a very high level one, but it would work. But there are ways to do it, and there are magic items that can also assist in that manner. I would say that you are familiar that there are magic items out there that can do it. It's just a matter of if they're in the auction at the time. Mm-hmm. And that's the main way to get magic items outside of finding them, as it will be with Campaign 2. There aren't merchants. In the Alliance, that's the only real way you can find them. In the Beastlands, if you were to go up there, you could find them in shops. But again, the Beastlands still some of it is auctions, the rest of it is shops.
Not happening. So I think
Beastlands is a little difficult for some of us.
I think your best bet's probably going to be the auctions. Otherwise, I can lay on to something. Currently, I'm working on an idea, a theory, which has helped with this scroll that I got from what's her name in the dungeon?
Yeah, her name. I can't
remember her name.
Nor can I.
A hot minute.
Give me a mo.
Essa?
Essa.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thing. I believe I can take this spell apart and use it with my rune magic to possibly cause spells to ricochet. Which means, say they're launching a spell at you, you might be able to launch it back at them.
I like that idea.
It's a work in progress, but I believe that it is very doable. So, but but otherwise I can't think off the top of my head anything that can protect you or something we can get quickly.
That's all right. For the moment, we have our party, and well, when we're together, we seem to cover each other's weaknesses well enough.
Mm. Is there anything else you want to do while we're out?
Well, I was thinking, whilst we do have warm clothing, we don't actually have much in the way of headwear.
I have a horn.
Whilst yes, that is helpful. I don't believe it would be particularly defensive against things such as snow and rain and chill.
Puts my hood up. I have a hood.
Chris, is there a haberdashery or anything like that around here?
This area specifically, no. There are areas that work in
Chris?
tailoring or something similar.
Chris, you there?
But... Yes, I'm here.
Chris, you there?
I've had enough of your antics. You've said the word haberdashery. You have a plan for this. I heard that laugh. I know.
Valid. I should have gone for a more normal one. I'm sorry. I just liked the
It's
word.
the moment you said haberdashery, and I was like, I need to look up this word. And then I went, and then you played that card, and I was like, I know exactly what you're doing.
I explained this word to you recently, Chris. You were talking about Terry Pratchett.
I know. I remember now.
Oh dear. Oh, Chris.
Who doesn't love a bit of haberdashery?
No, who doesn't?
The other tribes of gnomes.
I mean, and obviously, as you may be aware, haberdashery was a very dangerous art, hence the Mad Hatter.
Yes.
Cool.
What was
I believe
it?
they made use of mercury. Yeah, they were using a load of mercury for bits and pieces. God, what was it?
Dying?
Oh, yeah.
Always someone.
Anyway, if you are looking for hats, yes, there would be tailors. Whether they be open at this hour, however, would require another investigation check. At this time, I will say that the DC is probably 25 to find one that is open.
Okay. So.
You've got rats.
Sorry. Make a rat hat. I could make the rat hat.
You've been talking about it for ages. You
You're
literally
right.
said, I'm going to make horn warmers.
I could make some horn warmers.
Oh, God. No.
All right, Chris, we're finally doing it.
All right.
We're turning the rat skins into hat skins.
Okay,
All right.
so we're going back to the tavern?
Yep,
then?
this will be going back to the tavern. Okay, so you go back to the tavern and we'll get to you rolling and we'll say you can do this as you're journeying or stopping in taverns before bed. This won't take long, but we'll see. So, and finally the other three. So, Curve, Mortar, and Damien. The three of you are wandering through town looking for... what exactly?
I guess we're looking for shops that would sell, because we're getting... What are we getting again?
Warmer for
Do
clothing.
you have any... Who was that?
You turn around, you
Where
see
did that come
there's a
from?
Damien following you.
Oh! So stealthy.
Can we help you?
No, I'm just reminding you what you're looking for.
I didn't catch what you said.
Oh, warm weather clothing, I think.
Mortar, do you have winter clothing?
No. I don't tend to go to the south all that much. I'm more of a Western, Eastern guy.
And I mean, you know, I'm assuming you'll need some curve. I mean, you come from a rather warm environment.
Sorry, can I do an insight to see if Mortar's lying to me right now?
Go for it.
About being from the east, no, the west.
I'm trying to figure out exactly where I am on the map.
No, that's fair.
Oh, should we just take that as you meant to say the west?
He meant to
sorry,
say
no,
the,
that
he meant
was,
to say the
sorry,
east.
that was Dan's. That was Dan's slip up, but we can say that Mortar also did it.
You
as
can
well.
try to insight Dan.
Because that was so.
It is like Dan.
Either way, the answer is the east for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd say that his deception or is pretty good.
Yeah, this is the furthest west you've ever been, so you can't really get from the west.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm not really from kind of this area, so really I'm leaving this in your hands. But I do have familiarity with dangerous climates, just not necessarily on this specific scope. So I know how to travel and everything, but the cold's going to be a difficult one for sure. You guys traveled to this place before, or like any idea what we're getting into?
I have no fucking clue, if I'm being honest. It's quite funny how unprepared I am for the winter.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that we are struggling through together as friends.
You're really having like a weird
struggling,
shock, aren't you?
What's that? Sorry.
You're really having like a weird culture shock.
You have no idea.
Trust me, I know.
Actually, that's the point. You and I mean, I haven't actually spoken to many of these guys. I kind of appeared and was welcomed. I say welcomed.
Yeah, he wormed his way into my life, and now he's worming his way into all of yours. But it's fine.
Oh, okay. Wormed is a strong word. Okay, I am. Don't worry about it. So essentially, what I'm getting at is, I guess, who are you? Like, I don't know any of you guys.
Well, I'm the person who's buying you some winter clothes.
And I would love to know more about you.
You owe me a favor.
I knew that.
I do have one question.
From a warm climate, are you from the east as well? You don't look like you'd be from the east. That's not a racial thing, that's just... you know...
No, keep digging.
You don't see any tieflings around where you're from, Mortar?
Yeah,
no tieflings?
It's pretty rare. I don't know how rare, like... Because to me, like, I've only seen a certain people in the region I'm in. I don't know whether that's down to the culture of where I'm at, or, like, I don't know.
Was it the accent that gave her away?
No, something else, and I make a point of looking at the horns. I just can't place it, you know? But anyway, I'm putting the shovel down. Yeah, so I guess you're not from the, I guess you're not from kind of that area then. So where do you come from then? You said you come from somewhere warm. Sounds nice. Sounds like a nice vacation spot.
A bit too hot, if you ask me.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, I second that.
And the food's amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have no idea.
Is the food goose by chance?
I mean,
Goose?
I don't see how that's relevant.
Have you seen a goose? Have you seen it?
I have. I have seen geese. Yes.
You have seen geese?
Yes.
Have you seen... what kind of geese?
Flying geese, primarily, but sometimes they're on the ground.
What am I missing here? This is...
Are they, like, on fire? Wait, no.
Only if I'm cooking them and I've done it very badly.
Well, on a scale of 1
He
to
is a
10,
terrible
what are their
cook.
aggression levels?
When they're on fire, pretty high. Also runs a hand across a scar across his cheek and goes, pretty high.
I mean, if you get too close to them, they do have a tendency to peck, but I mean, they're not that aggressive, and they tend to be in water, so it's difficult for them to be on fire.
Doesn't sound like what I'm looking for.
No,
Keep
no.
a lookout, both of you.
I mean, you never know. We've got a few levels of the city above us.
Know more about you guys. You guys are hilarious.
There's nothing funny.
No, this is a serious matter, Mortar.
A goose that is on fire is fucking hilarious, and I will not change my mind.
Curve might have a couple of words or two, or maybe a couple of things to say about that.
It's also delicious.
Where's Romulus? Romulus is just hiding behind another bush.
No, he's just
Mortar
in a
takes off the
voice.
mask and here's Romulus underneath.
In a voice, yeah.
So
Well,
we're
I
looking for
mean-
some warm clothing.
Yeah, I mean, I really only have kind of the clothes on my back. I have the mask and the goggles and stuff, and that'll be useful against cold weather. But other than that, I don't really have any kind of gear that I can use. Is it worth us maybe looking for some like climbing? Do we need like climbing supplies, or is one of our guys already on that?
Aren't goggles what children use in the swimming pool?
How would you know what a swimming pool is?
No.
I
And
was
what's a
curious
swimming
about
pool?
this.
It's a slightly different liquid, slightly orangey red.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, it's one pool, the big pool of mud that we keep on the farm that I push.
Oh,
the
a
younger
mud bath.
kids in. No.
Yeah, they have those like. I mean,
Is this not the thing you emerged from down at dungeon? That sort
Well,
of.
we don't talk about that. I'd rather not think about that day.
what
okay.
the fuck is going on? Anyway,
Winter
okay.
Where
Winter
I
clothes,
apologise.
right.
We've been apart a little while. I didn't realise that was touchy as. Sorry.
do I need to roll to find winter clothing still?
Is the mud bath really that touchy a subject?
So this will
Holy
be
shit.
an intelligence, or no, an investigation
dear.
check, please.
I'm happy to
May
assist.
I give her the help action? Oh yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was going to say I don't think I'm proficient, so
That was. So investigation. Was
Yes,
that?
please.
Oh dear. Okay. Can I use my? No, I don't. No, it's not worth using my advantage. Oh
Well,
dear.
you choose after you see the roll, but you were getting the help action, weren't you?
Oh.
Yeah,
is
so you
that,
get to roll with
Roll a
advantage
second.
anyway. Yeah.
I see the advantage.
That is a 9.
nice.
As you're looking around, everywhere's closed.
Holy shit. This must be terrible for business.
No, you're just late. You spent a lot of your time talking about the mud bath and getting touchy about it, and as a result,
Seriously,
you
what is the
go
deal with
around
that?
and most of the places are closed at this hour. They're either working on last-minute projects that they need for tomorrow, and as a result, aren't open, or they are closed.
I mean, how
Hey,
badly
guess I-
do we need?
anyone else
We need
see
this.
winter clothing?
We need some. We need the stuff pretty badly, right?
We can get it in the morning if we need to.
No. This is a thing. Like, I don't get me wrong. I'm still trying to figure out how you guys operate as a group. But where I come from, if you see something you need, you take it.
I look
This is-
Mortar straight in the eye and say, "You think we operate as a group?"
I don't know. As far as I know, you guys are. I mean, excuse the term, on a wild goose chase.
I don't think I care for that term.
Is the goose wild
know-
or domesticated?
Hard to say at this point.
It
It's
is
on fire.
domesticated as any goose can be.
Oh well,
Goose-
I
goose
don't
can
know
be
if you know
domesticated?
geese in our world, but they tend not to be very domesticated. They tend to be slightly wild.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Saying.
Thanks, we're getting off track. What I'm suggesting is we simply just break in. Now hear me out. Break in, right? We take what we need, and then we go. No harm, no foul. Look, there's
Well,
no
you've got to
even in there.
identify a
This doesn't-
correct place to break
this
into first.
doesn't- I mean, no, we just try every shop. They're all closed. We'll get one eventually, surely.
Do
How
you
much
have any
money
more
do you
money
have
to pay fines with?
No, but she does. Porto just gives you the widest grin, which you wouldn't be able to see under the mask anyway.
Kev, should we go and find the others? I think we'll have to come
Oh,
back
come
tomorrow.
on.
Why
It was
are
a
you
joke.
here again, Mortar?
Sorry?
Why are you here again?
Oh, excellent
I don't
question.
know
Asked
you.
myself
I
that.
don't care.
I don't know you either.
Damien's just going to start walking away, whistling to himself, pretending it's nothing to do with him.
I'm sensing some tension. I don't understand what I've done to upset you, but I'll probably do it again, and I am sorry in advance. I don't understand what your deal is. So you're here to chase a goose, and there's a mud bath involved. And where you come from is hot. Were you born in a sauna?
Oh, you're making me very angry.
Neither of you are good at communicating. Just be open and honest. This is said from across the city.
Trying. I'm trying so hard, and I don't
also,
You two main
don't be
characters.
sarcastic.
Just a random NPC chimes in. Just get a room already.
He gets it. It's a good way to deal with problems. Okay. Look, I apologize if I've made you angry, but you don't know me. I don't know you either. I don't know what makes you angry, and you're not exactly being open. As the random embodied voice just said, communication is key.
Oh god, do we need to set up like a therapy session for these two?
Honestly, I'm kind of thinking that.
Yeah, but Curve will have to pay for it, and that will just cause another issue.
Yeah.
Nah, we've got Romulus.
You have acted up far too many times in this group. Okay, I don't know why the others are keeping you around, but I need this group in order to get home, okay? I need to find a hell goose so I can go home back to my family, okay?
Family, huh?
Yes, family.
Good for you. Good for you. Monster, I'll walk on ahead. Just kind of meander.
Okay. Damien, while this heated subject is happening in Zaka's, which is immune to fire, what would you like to do? Mr. Firefighter, who went with. You may have also stoked the flame, so this is also
This
your
shit,
problem.
I'm just going to let it burn down.
Respect.
Oh
Curve is terrifying. Holy shit.
Well, given apparently all the shops have closed because apparently we talked far too long, I guess I'm going to try and actually look out for any of the other three.
Okay. At this time, you wouldn't, unfortunately. Actually, no. Vinny, do you think you'd be heading to Casey's at all?
I got the card from there, so
card.
yeah, I may as well. If they're staying open
Okay.
a little longer, I'll give it a go.
Okay. Give me a perception check then, please, Damien. And Vinny, go ahead and roll me a. Go ahead and roll me a d20. If you end up getting a lower roll than Damien, Damien's perception, you happen to run into him.
Oh well, that's not going to happen likely, is it?
Well, there's a chance.
Roll less than a 6, please. No, that's a 10.
What do you mean? That's a 6. And you got a 6. So you bump into each other. Or, no, correction. Damien, you spot, as you're kind of like looking around, like, Mortar's just kind of wandering off in a random direction. You know he doesn't know where the tavern is nearby. You see the Curves
I had
kind
no
of...
idea.
You see that Curves kind of standing there like, oh, I may have said too much, but do I care? And she's sassing at the moment. You otherwise see what looks to be a bright red tiefling wearing Vinny's clothing, walks down one alleyway to the next, currently holding what looks to be a piece of paper in hand, and a bunch of climbing kits and a grappling hook over his shoulder.
Nice.
Damien, in typical fashion, how far away am I at this particular moment?
Not that far. Probably, I'd say, Mortar's only started walking away, and would you say it's a hurried pace, Mortar?
No, just literally, he's not storming off by any means. He's just walking. He's just kind of going, I think enough's been said.
Okay. So I'd say he's about probably 20 foot away at most, and then Vinny's walking past within like 30 feet, but he's preoccupied on trying to follow directions based off of a card in a city he doesn't know very well.
Okay, I put
Also,
both
just give him
hands,
a wave as he passes.
both hands round my mouth and just yell, "Vinny!"
Vinny, you are made aware of Damien. You otherwise look over. You can see that several individuals who are otherwise nearby kind of just they turn to look at Damien, who's otherwise looking directly at you.
Right. Yeah, Vinny looks up, half expecting hostility for a moment before recognizing the voice. Ah, Damien! It's been so long. How have you been?
Sorry, you look thoroughly engrossed, and I could do with some less hostile company.
Some less lethal company.
Do you mind if we accompany you? Or at least I accompany you? I mean, these two can go wherever the hell they want. I've had enough of them already.
I am sorry, no, we need to take a moment to shame Chris for that pun.
I know.
Yeah, for sure. That was rough. That was really rough.
Right now, Curve is the Bracken, and Mortar's the Jester, getting ready to ramp up. You all know Damien's the coil head. He doesn't do anything while people are watching him.
When they're not watching him.
He does everything. Anyway. Or it's just the Stomper and Cat's the loot bug. I've already thought this through. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm the what?
You're the Stomper.
Look, I'll be honest. I've had zero experience with this.
Lethal Company's great. Anyway.
Stomper.
Right. Tweedledee and Tweedledum got on your nerves already, huh?
Yeah.
This
is also Vinny flexing his colossal 8 intelligence.
Oh, thumb punch!
Oh, I love this party. We got 3 people with negative intelligence. It's great.
How have we made it this far?
We have one legitimately smart person, and she's a child.
Wait, I've got an intelligence of 14. Don't diss me.
Yeah, Damien's got pretty good intelligence.
How?
You can have high intelligence, but not be a very good people person.
Yeah, fair, right. Fair. No argument from me.
Well, I went and got climbing gear and also some rations.
Well, I mean, I was intending to get some rations and some horse feeders and warm weather clothing, but these two just sort of got in each other's nerves, and the shop's closed in the meantime. But you're heading somewhere?
Yes, the Catalogers Guild recommended some sort of clothing seller.
Oh,
Pioneers,
special
Pioneers Guild, but yes.
Pioneers, yeah.
That sounds promising. Let's, I guess you better quickly go in case it's closed.
Probably a good idea.
Do you need any hand, like, following the directions? Or are you good with what you've got on it?
I think I'm on the right track. Why don't you have a look, though? Oh, we should keep an eye out in case there's any marriage counselors around here as well.
No, that's Vinny's charisma talking.
Hey, respect, dude.
Respect.
Damien actually started having a quick look around just in case, by happenstance, and then caught himself and laughed.
Oh, by the way, I finally found out the term for like someone who makes charcoal is a collier or a collier's.
Oh, interesting.
Cool. Yeah, there aren't any in the city.
Yeah, surprising that.
They'll be below if there are.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like the smokestack, that makes sense. Yeah. Like that one, it would just make sense for it to be there.
Okay.
Can I have a quick look at the piece of paper, see if it looks like we're heading in the right direction? Vinny was heading in the right direction.
Sure.
Make me a survival check, and I'll say Damien or Vinny. You can make one with advantage with Damien's help here. So you're both. So Damien's making one anyway for the familiarity of the city,
Okay.
and then you're getting advantage regardless, because Damien rolls low, he might misdirect you, but looks like he rolled well. Yeah, you're
16.
on the right track, and Damien, you at this kind of moment, you're in the right area anyway, and the fact that you were in the area, kind of finding a few tailors' shops and otherwise individuals working with materials for clothing, adventuring gear, not necessarily armor, but just kind of casual wear and such. There are places around here, and seeing this, you can hazard a guess as to exactly where you're going to go. Mortar is wandering off in the wrong direction, and Curve is currently standing like a statue in the middle of the thoroughfare with you two chatting not far off.
Should we gather the other two in, and maybe together we can withstand their heat?
I mean, this might be our last experience of being warm in quite some time, so I guess we should save it. Hey, you two! We're going clothes shopping.
Great.
Just please don't set fire to it before we buy it.
You knock
Walter?
yourselves out. I've got.
Luckily, they are incapable of doing so currently.
You guys knock yourselves out. I'm gonna go for a wander. I think I need to clear my head a little bit. Shall I meet you back at where we were before, or what are we thinking?
We get lost.
Yeah, do you know the way to anywhere here?
I'll figure it out. There's got to be signs around here somewhere, right?
There's no signs.
Oh. Then I guess I'll just follow my nose.
I can't see if you've got a nose below that mask.
That's also incredibly racist.
You heard him, guys. He'll find his way back.
Oh,
If you're sure, Mortar, if you're absolutely sure.
Positive.
We'll catch you at, what was the inn called again, Vinny?
Firefly Stacks.
That's the one.
Wow, Vinny, your voice got real deep there.
He was impersonating
sure.
Romulus.
Well, Firefly Stacks.
It was really
The
good.
Firefly
It was really good.
Stacks.
Cool.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll meet you guys there.
Staying up with Firefly Stacks.
Nice.
Before Mortar gets too far, I'd like to summon my two crows, Eugene and Filch.
Yow.
Keep an eye on him, but from a distance, okay?
From a distance.
Let me
Alright.
know if he gets in any trouble. Gets lost.
Alright. You got it, boss. You got it.
Does Damien actually see anything happen besides Curve talking?
Yes, you watch as the two crows otherwise look at her. They seem to land from somewhere you didn't see, kind of like shadowy energy pulls in, and then the two of them land, and then they take off again shortly afterwards. As they're flying, you can see that Filch is otherwise keeping a good eye, being stealthy crow, through the thoroughfare, which is otherwise a very kind of, roofed area. Whereas Eugene is doing classic crow stuff and pretending to be a bat as he crawls along the ceiling, just using his beak to pull himself along. Making a lot of noise and making a spectacle of himself. Okay. Mortar, by the way, the highest on their stealth between the two of them was a 7. So you are aware of their presence.
Also, I will note that. And
They're doing no
yeah,
harm, they
people
just
can-
seem to be
no,
crows.
It's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
You're being spied on by your wife.
Am I just... I know, it's a healthy relationship right there. Am I aware that they are familiars, or do I just assume they're crows? Because I don't know if I've seen Curve use them, actually.
You haven't known too much about them. You know that she has crows that she talks to and then she can dismiss them. So you would understand that they are associated with Curve, but the understanding of them being a familiar is probably lacking.
I do agree with Rebecca, actually. I think that Mortar has it in his head that Curve absolutely hates his guts. So why would she ever try to keep an eye on him or anything like that? Or, so he's just there like, oh, it's just two crows following me. I think that Mortar hasn't put it together yet, that Earth has summoned them. He's just kind of like, whatever. I think that's probably what Mortar in his mind will do.
Okay. Okay. So, the rest of you otherwise head to Casey's. As Vinny, Curve, and Damien, you otherwise all arrive at the outside of the building. You can see that the building is lit from the interior. There aren't the blinds are otherwise pulled down, but the door's sign doesn't say closed currently.
The door's closed?
No, the door is closed, but the sign on the door doesn't say closed. It still says
Cool.
open.
I guess we can just open the door.
Yeah. Otherwise, opening the door, you can see the very nicely done, calligraphically written, Threaded Through is the name of the shop. As you otherwise head in and have a look in. There's... who's heading in first, by the way? Damien, do you say?
I think Vinny would probably, as he's got the note and he's talked about it, we'd follow him in. Kev, agreed?
Sure.
Okay, make me a dexterity saving throw.
I dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, you did. It's when you were like, actually, Finny will go in first. In case there's a boulder trap, which there isn't.
There's not enough.
You gotta be careful with their boulder traps.
Can you imagine Damien doing an Indiana Jones?
No.
That's a 26.
26. As you otherwise step in through the door, you hear this sudden whizzing sound as you otherwise duck, and very quickly doing so, a mannequin flies overhead, of a dress otherwise fluttering behind it as it does, needle and thread otherwise pursuing after it as it otherwise lands in one portion of the room and begins to be almost adjusted, bits of fabric folding and pulling themselves in. You can see, standing center stage on a platform, two wands held up, otherwise seemingly writing things in the air and incanting magic words of some form, is this otherwise relatively tall individual, AVR in nature, with what looks to be a magpie look to them. The otherwise dark black feathers that otherwise crest off of the head, the white sides to it, the bright kind of glassy black eyes looking out and away from you as they otherwise turn their head looking around. You can see that they are wearing a very bright purple and blue robe gown that otherwise billows off of the sides of their arms, but only comes to about their elbow on each, as they're otherwise busy kind of casting and moving these things around in that moment. As you otherwise enter, do you enter quietly? Do you make yourselves known?
No, I step in and like combat roll under the mannequin and come up beaming with a big smile. Hello. Sorry to disturb you. Are you still open?
The individual otherwise turns. Oh, customer. Apologies about that. Otherwise does a quick kind of wave, and you watch as they all kind of recede into almost their positions on the side, needles and threads setting themselves down, as you know, as she otherwise kind of finishes whirling with the wands, places them at either side, and draws another wand, which you can see is a very, almost like a metal stiletto, very much looking like a needle, as she otherwise holds it and kind of gives it a quick wave, and otherwise gestures in front of her as her clothing otherwise changes into that of almost a professional attire, meeting a black and white suit, a otherwise bent top hat on the top of her head, as she otherwise kind of gives a bit of a bow, the wand extending into a cane as she does so. Welcome to Threaded Through. Very late night guests. How may I help? I assume you're looking for clothes?
My friends and I were looking to travel to colder climates. We were wondering if we could get anything that would be useful there from here.
Of course. And please do step in out of the hallways. Looking back to the two who are otherwise standing in the doorway after seeing Vinny combat roll in.
Badass.
Don't worry, Curve. This sort of thing happens all the time.
Okay, so if you step in, It is a pleasure to meet you all. So you're just after winter wear, you said? Something to help you survive colder climates.
Mm-hmm.
Are we looking for fancy clothing or simple clothing that's of the season?
Practical on my part. Practical, keep me warm. Doesn't need to be anything flash.
You watch as almost in a blink she glides over, hovering slightly above the floor itself, as she otherwise kind of with the cane kind of gives a poke to your brigandine. Yes, winter clothing over metal armor is going to be a bit difficult, but I can work with anything.
I mean, it could be below the brigandine. No? Although a winter cloak would probably be better.
Indeed, winter cloak would probably be better to keep your metal from getting too cold. Meanwhile, you two are a specimen I'd be happy to work on.
Damien blushes.
Not looking at you.
Okay.
Looking at Vinny and Curve with this are specimens.
I know that's what you said, but I'm still blushing at me. But
Are
what is
you
ready
feeling
to
horny?
I'm just feeling a little bit around, dude.
Has a
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm talking about the tieflings.
Oh, shit.
Twas a pun.
Oh,
A play on words.
My bad.
And what would you suggest?
Well, you're both from more of a kind of twirls the cane in the air.
Oh, God.
A hotter environment, or tolerance, should I say. Not meaning any offense, just colour is befitting. But
Oh, boy.
cold is going to be a tricky one for you. You're going to need to layer up especially well. Now, are you looking for magical or typical?
Just typical, I guess. What? Ooh, well, hold on. What magical options are available?
Well, I have some clothing that'll help in all weather. Otherwise, keep you warm while also preventing you from getting too hot in summer's days. You can wear it in all seasons.
I like the sign of that.
Sounds good to me too.
What style would you particularly be looking for? So with this, I will say, if you're looking for something standard, you can pay 150 gold for the magical version of this, and this will allow you to basically be quote-unquote comfortable in any climate. It won't prevent extreme negatives in extreme cold or extreme hot, but it will help you in both. So, for example, if you were to jump into lava, you're still going to suffer problems from fire damage, and if you are caught in a Arctic blizzard, you're still going to suffer problems with that. But
I'll
cold
still
weather
feel
and hot weather
comfortable.
yeah, you'll still feel comfortable, but it won't be very pleasant. But it would be 150 if you're looking for a pre-built outfit, or if you wish to choose yourselves what the style looks like, it'll cost
that's so
200 per
sick.
person, and you can redesign whatever your outfit or persona may look like. We all have the mental image, obviously, instead of physical art. I'm not going to put that on Jamie. But if Jamie wants to, he can.
I think I might make some physical art.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So have you got the 200 gold for a custom piece of your entire choosing?
I would love some help on my conversion rates.
Okay. 10 of the higher denomination becomes 10 of the lower. So 1 platinum is 10 gold, 1 gold is 10 silver, 1 silver is 10 copper.
Yeah, you say that, and that sounds easy.
Okay. So in this instance, 200 gold will be 20 platinum. If that's what
I
you're
can
working
do that.
with. Okay.
Wow.
And Vinny?
Uh, 20 platinum. Sure, why not? I've been wandering around in traveler's clothes for a while. Might be nice to make a change.
Okay. So Both you and Curve will otherwise have your own custom ones, and you can give your old winter clothes to Mortar and they will fit. I believe you both share a very similar build, so you should be fine.
Which one of us?
Vinny's old
Vinny?
winter clothing
Okay.
can go to Mortar. So the two of you will have custom winter clothing.
Mortar has an amazing rack.
Haha. So does Vinny, don't you know?
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's why it's fit.
Yeah. So, by all means, come up with your own descriptions on what you want, and we can introduce with that next session. Or if you have an idea of what that may be, when you're ready, let me know, and we'll get to describe. And you can get to describing your character's new look. But
What
I
sort
will
of
let
weight are
you
we looking
take
at
that time
here?
you need.
How heavy would the clothing be?
The weight of the clothing will be the same as traveler's clothing, I believe, or traveling clothes, I should say. So, 4 pounds. Yeah, heavy winter weighs double that, but this isn't heavy winter. This is magical winter, so you're fine.
So that's magic winter clothing.
Yep. Well, magic all-weather clothing it should be.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. And how about you, then?
Just
Looking at you, Damien.
a nice warm cloak. I don't know what kind of nice warm fabrics you use. Wool, ermine, something.
I can work with something. Otherwise, kind of gives you a look, and in that moment, you watch as she otherwise kind of snaps her finger, and you watch as there's this puff of energy in the air, and you watch as a tape measure falls into her hand. As she whips it towards you, Damien, it begins to take measurements on its own of your shoulder width, around your neck, along the length of your back from neck to toes, and she's taking measurements of what she needs for your to stylize it around your armor.
What exactly does she look like?
She is a magpie aviar. She's otherwise wearing what would be considered just a a circus showman's suit.
Okay.
As that finishes up, the tape measure moves to Curve and Vinny, and with much more grace and care, it takes your measurements, as this is working on not just covering armor. And you otherwise get the clothing that you need. It'll be ready by morning, so come by to pick it up, and this lot will be making it overnight. She otherwise gestures up with kind of a whip of her cane. Some of the mannequins that are currently vacant kind of pull out and move down. A few of the general templates beginning to move in and shift into place on the actual mannequin itself as it adjusts to almost be your measurements from what you can tell.
I check my pockets and find a number.
No, you don't.
It's fine. I've got a card.
This is true, you do.
Take a look over the mannequin then. Ah, creepy. Very impressive.
Thank you.
You don't happen to also sell horse feed or rations, do you?
Not at all. But if you are looking for some equine covering or robe, I'm sure you can find a blanket in the street for them.
Wow. At that moment, Damien just literally turns on the heel and walks out. He's insulted.
All right.
Thank you very much for your talents, madam.
Kind of claps her hands together. Well, you're very welcome. Otherwise, kind of gives a general bow, and kind of in that instance, kind of spins the cane back into the kind of the small needle-like wand and takes out the other ones and begins to work on adjusting and controlling the needle and thread with a very deft hand. If you'd be so kind as to turn the sign on your way out, I've received what I need. Thank you.
Of course.
Right, and if we have any need of further clothes, we'll come straight here.
Thank you very much. Now do take care, and I'll see you both tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, when you're off to pick up your clothes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Right.
Not
They
not
head
for any
up.
other reasons, like you're both fine specimens.
Yes.
You are. It has been said several times that the two of you have the hottest characters in the party, other than Romulus, of course.
Is it just that, and it's a coincidence, or is there some
I
sort of
need-
fetish going on here?
Oh, I think she definitely has a thing for teeth.
I'll be honest. I kind of want to walk in there just to see it. Is it horse specifically, or is it tiefling specific?
Oh, that's true. Actually, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, fair.
Who
It's
knows?
okay. It's okay, Cat. You've only got one horn, so you don't count.
No.
Plural
Yeah.
was
I don't
specified
know.
by Romulus.
I don't know.
No, we've had this conversation. It's because you've only got one horn, you're horned. If you've got two, you're horny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
And
not
if
a
you've got no
natural
horns, you're
horn, though.
hornless.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I'm a disgusting hornless.
Yep.
Oh,
I know.
Look, I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
understand. I'll never understand how you people get around with no horns, but all right.
honestly, me neither. What am I gonna do when I headbutt a door?
I mean,
Mhm.
look, we all try to be as accepting as we can of smooth skulls.
Oh.
I love that.
Oh.
But fair.
Okay. Well, I'll say this
Poor blunt heads.
Hey,
your-
there you go.
with your designs otherwise passed on at length to Casey and otherwise then heading back to the Firefly Stacks where you meet up. I will say a number of you otherwise head to bed, getting your rooms. It would be for one night's stay. It is 5 silver per room. So if you want to pay your own way, unless somebody else wants to pay two gold, 5 silver, then by all
Good
means.
enough.
Somebody's gonna. Oh wait, no, Mortar's not back yet. We're okay.
Mortar's not there. No, you scared him off, so he can't pay for your room.
No, that's not what I meant. He can't pay for my room anyway. He's got no money.
No, true.
I was more. It was more the point of was one of us going to be paying for him.
Yeah.
Yes, one of us should.
So that would be 3 gold. Alright, there we
How
go.
much for one room was it?
It's 5 silver for one room, but it's 3 gold for everyone's.
Negative 5 silver.
I don't think anyone is paying for a room for you, Mortar. I think you might be on the
That's-
street tonight.
Honestly,
Well, yeah.
that's fine. No, that is absolutely fine. I was about to insinuate something later on, which would let you guys know that I wouldn't be there.
No, insinuate now.
No, it's fine.
I will
We'll
once
get
you
to
guys
that.
have done your thing.
So,
No, it's
is there
I'm
anything
not going to interfere with your guys' thing.
is there anything any of you would like to do before going to bed?
since we've not been told anything, I will pay for a room for Mortar.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, dude,
If a guy in a
That's fine.
mask comes through, the room is for him. Please let him know that he has a room paid for before he tries to extort you for it.
Alright.
He's carrying an
I
arcane
love
firearm,
that.
just to identify him further in case some random person wearing a mask comes in.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Anyway,
It won't be a robbery.
So, are you okay?
no, it's Nightlight. He always sounds like this.
Oh, been a while. You look familiar.
Yeah, Nightlight. You remember the anglerfish Triton?
Yeah, I know that. Damien's gone through some shit.
Have we all?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
It's been a
Okay.
rough month.
So, I will say, Romulus, go ahead and roll me a, if you have it, like a weaver's tools check or a tailor's tools check if you have it for making a rat hat.
A rat hat.
So just go ahead and give me that. If not, just give me a straight dex check here.
Look, what I have is some combination of wood carving, smith's tools, and cook's utensils. I feel like, yeah, no, worth
This
a
is
try.
this will just be a straight dex check then, please.
All right. Oh boy, here I go hatting again.
at it again.
Guess who's back again. Where's this hat? Tell a friend. Give me hat. Ah, so close to the 20. That's a 10.
10. Doesn't take you long to make, which is a good and a bad thing. It's good because you have the hat made before you go to bed, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. It looks like a nightcap, but he's done the thing where you get, the face of the rat or the face of the animal, and you like stuff it so that it sticks out. So he's got a nightcap, but the flat cap part of it at the front is just a rat's head, or several rat's heads that have all been stitched together to form this abominable hat, which on Romulus looks atrocious and will give Cat nightmares. I will be rolling mechanically for this.
Chris?
No, it doesn't help you with it helps you with intimidation checks versus Cat.
It worked. Cat's in a different room and's already sweating. She's currently still working on a spell.
She's walking out in a cold sweat and she doesn't know why.
Right. Yeah. Can I make a wisdom, like a self-insight check to realize that, this is literally not useful, it's just going to terrify Cat?
That's a 10 on the dex check. I'll say make it with disadvantage because you're proud of your handiwork as much as you might.
I do have advantage on insight checks, so straight roll.
So it'll be a flat roll, yeah.
Oh boy.
Please. Oh.
My insight has a +4.
+4, 11. You look at the hat and you're like, this is a nice bit of handiwork. But it's more like a nightcap. Yeah. It's not going to protect you against the cold. And you're like, you should be fine. You're used to the cold weather, unless if you're being hit by a blizzard anyway, that's probably going to get to you regardless of the hat. So at the end of the day, you're like, it doesn't particularly matter too much. Your fur should be fine. But as you otherwise peel the hat off of your scalp, there's a little bit of residue left on the fur, and you're like, I'll wash that out in the morning. And you now have a horrifying rat nightcap. So make sure to remove the rat skins and add horrifying rat nightcap to your inventory. So that if you and Cat ever end up having the same room again in the future for budget reasons, Cat is going to be rolling for nightmares.
Oh, come on, like I already have enough of them. No.
I'm not
She'll just look over the other side of the room.
It.
There'll be the dead eyes of rats staring back at you. And you'll just be like,
Yeah, roll 4d20, and the lowest you roll will be your score.
Oh, my God.
Mega disadvantage. Oh, man. So, meanwhile, as you all get to rest in preparation for the day, you five may mark off your long rest and recover any points of exhaustion.
Okay.
Mortar. You're out and about in the city. Tell me what you're doing or thinking at this time.
What I was thinking about his conversation, I say conversation that rapidly escalated. He's very much in his own head right now. He's going, did I say something wrong? Like, I don't understand why things went from that to this very quickly. I thought we were all laughing about a goose that was on fire, and then suddenly, I don't know. He's very much like, I feel like an alien in this land. Like, how are things so different from where I'm? Like, how can things be so different? Like, it's wild, and he's kind of just wondering, and finds himself just walking into a back alley. And he walks for a while, walks for a little bit more, just until he's out of sight of the main thoroughfare. And he draws the black scorpion, and he looks at it and goes, I don't know, am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad person for not understanding people? He then sits and slumps against the wall and slides down, and he looks up at the two crows who he's noted have been following him, which I'm assuming have perched somewhere nearby.
Filch has. Eugene is still climbing across the ceiling trying to keep up.
Aww. Because
Gotcha.
Eugene would try and give some stupid advice.
He may have a chance to. Mortar looks up at them and goes, Well, since you asked, why not? I guess it was rude of me to assume you would just open yourself up to me without me offering anything in turn. So, here it is. My name is not Mortar. Mortar is a name I took on. Needless to say, my name is Sahib. I was born in the Plains of Desolation. And when I was a baby, my mother attempted to flee from my father. I don't know if you've heard of him. Goes by the Jackal. I don't know his real name. In fact, I've never met him in person before. She just, from what I've been told, I was conceived in the middle of a sandstorm in a cave somewhere. And as soon as I was born, my father caught up and killed them all. Be back. But due to circumstances, I couldn't be a part of my father's vision. And I became known as the Shunned, or the Lost Child. I was sent to camps, essentially, where I would work as a slave underneath my father's empire, or his organization. As a toddler, being forced to walk on sand that's like glass, barefoot for days on end, moving munitions from place to place across the desert, it does things to you. The only comfort I had was a woman named Rita. She was an old bat, but she did right by me. She was the only one who would put herself at risk to make sure that I got rations, despite the fact that it doesn't matter. My point being is that I found you, and he's talking to the gun at this point. Do you remember? That day when the wagon broke in the middle of the desert. There was no way I was going to get that thing going, and I knew I was in for the lashes. God, that thing hurt. In my stupid attempt to try to fix the wheel, I fell. And you were there. You've always been my moral compass, pointing at what needs to be ended or changed. Years later, I finally got it in my head that I couldn't stay here any longer. I had to escape. It was suffocating. The sound, the whipping, the blood, the tears. Eventually, I learned that that blood staining the sand didn't have to be mine anymore. So I freed myself. You asked me if I would like to be free. At the end of the day, I can't expect you to pour. I can't expect these people, who I don't even know, to pour their hearts out to me when I'm not even willing to do the same for them. Why should I care, though? At the end of the day, what am I doing here? That was what Curve said. What am I even doing here? It's a very good question. I wish I had some kind of direction. But I was done feeling lost and alone, but even in this world full of people, this world of bright colors that's no longer tainted by black sands, I'm still alone. I'm still an alien. But why would you care? You're just a couple of crows. Watching me with those big, black, soulless eyes. It must be so nice to fly. So majestic.
You see the two of them look at one another. Curve, were you listening into that as you can with a familiar, or no?
I'm in my room,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps watching
Getting
through
ready.
the crows. Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I'd like to
Yeah.
know where he is before I
Okay.
go to sleep.
Okay, so this is all being said. Damn.
Yeah.
I'd been making notes on the crow's rendition of your story.
Oh,
That's fine.
Morsa was raised by an animal in the middle of the desert. He
boy.
was shunned by the rest of his family. And he was raised by an old bat.
Oh boy.
One day he got himself into trouble and started talking to the weapon. Since then they assumed he killed everyone.
Oh boy.
I like that take. Crows have got
But-
this.
But Cove, you hear the full thing. Otherwise, watching and hearing through Eugene and Filch's eyes, you pick up on this. You note the words being said. You take them in. It's up to you what you wish to do with that information going forward. But Mortar, as you're otherwise there, kind of holding the weapon, you feel almost a sense of comfort, yet conflict. In that moment. A confusing mixture in that moment, but as you otherwise kind of sit there talking to the crows, you slumped in an alleyway, you kind of bow your head, pull your otherwise cloak and travel garments over you, and curl up in one section of the alleyway. Filch and Eugene detect no enemies throughout the night. But I would like to ask that everyone other than Mortar please move to standby.
Oh shit.
So we need another secret word, and we need another.
Oh my god.
We've been playing the connectivity thing. I think we need something new. I also think I tried and failed on the haberdashery. Someone else should take over instigating. What plans do we have, people?
Oh, sorry, I was imitating a long rest.
God, did no one do the assigned reading? God.
No. I don't know.
We'll definitely come up with something for next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am thinking next session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan won't be there anyway, so he's not missing out on the plan because he won't be there to carry it out.
Jesus Christ. Are you okay?
Ugh.
Oh wow.
Anyhow, yeah. Do we got any thoughts?
Off the top of my head, no. But it is late.
What if we all swapped to a different accent and refused to like provide any comment on it?
How many of us could swap accents?
Okay, we need to find an accent that everyone can do. Everyone, give me your worst Scottish.
Och no.
Okay, good. Rebecca, you're up next. Close enough.
No. No.
Okay, the new. All right, Simon, you're up.
Worst Scottish? Would you care for a deep fried Mars bar, laddie?
And Jimmy.
I don't want to do this.
Excellent. Okay. I think we're all ready for this. Let's give it a go.
Hang on, is this now or like next
No,
time?
no. This is next week.
Oh, good.
Okay. I will update the chat.
Very good.
Does anyone want to? Who would like to come up with the secret word, and who would like to, initiate?
I mean, it would only be appropriate to say "we dram" as the code word.
Might be a little difficult to go into it, but if you're confident you can work it in, I'm happy for you to take it.
If anyone can chuck in a random word and get away with it, it's gonna be Jamie.
Yeah, but he won't get it. He'll be really suspicious.
Yeah.
But
How
yeah,
about
probably.
we have the word brave?
I'm going to be honest, I took that code word to heart.
But Mom, it's just my brew. And we all try and use up our inspirations before we pull this.
Before they get taken away.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think I'll be lucky if I get one more dice roll in today.
I mean, yeah, fair.
Though I am making a spell, so I might be able to use that on that if I fail it.
Okay. Save that and unpin. Oh no, the pin should still be the same. Yeah, cool. Wonderful. Okay, that's in there for next week.
Very good.
I think this has been a good bit of planning. I'm very proud of all of us.
Chris is probably having like a real serious moment with Dan. He's asked, how are we gonna fuck with Chris next week?
Just putting it out there would probably be more like of an awful thing to us than Chris. But if we all started rhyming.
Oh.
Yeah.
God. Oh.
Like one person says one thing and then the next person has to say a sentence that rhymes with that. And so on and so on.
It's going to be concerning.
Down. What?
Yeah. No, don't worry. It's an awful idea, which is more of a torture for us than Chris.
Yeah, he'd probably sit there happily, just like carry on. Go on, I want to see how long you can handle this.
Yeah.
So was Damien's reaction to this magpie wizard seamstress incorrect? Just get something for your horse. Just get a blanket off the street.
Well, I mean,
Walks out. I don't actually know if Damien's actually going to get any warm weather clothing now, or if he's going to be judged.
I have faith that you'll get some clothing.
I'll probably get some clothing. I probably won't like it.
Well,
Like a warm weather something else, which is, not going to cover the entirety of me or something.
just know that no matter what she gives you, it can't beat Romulus's hat. Dear God.
True.
Oh, man.
Do you think what I'm planning with Romulus to give him a weapon that is anti-magic is a good idea?
I did it with Rook. It was very useful.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I'm hoping with the good suck leaf though that because it absorbs it, I might be able to do some fun things with that.
Possibly. I mean, it might, if you absorb one, Chris might just sort of like, oh yeah, by the way, you get access to a rune you wouldn't normally have, or an extra charge on your rune, or something like that. Possibly. Maybe. Make the weapon stronger for a short time.
That might be interesting.
I've just thought of a terrible idea. Which definitely breaks the fourth wall. I'm looking through adventuring gear on the player's handbook, and it says you can buy a flask or tank for 2 copper pieces. My brain's thinking, if I buy one and then take it to every single establishment we get a drink at, and see if we can get free drinks because it's a reusable cup.
I mean, you could try.
I gotta respect the
They
hustle.
probably won't go for it.
No.
But look at the side of the tankard. It says it clearly comes from your chain of establishments.
First thing, they just get told off for stealing a tankard.
I mean, if you get the high enough charisma roll to play it off as a joke, I guess there's nothing lost when they tell you to fuck off.
On the other hand, I could do something really bad, and I could just buy a bell and then just casually ring it every morning when I get up. Or rather than a flask or tankard, I could buy a jug or pitcher. It costs the same. Okay.
Have to go to the D&D equivalent of Weatherspoons.
Yeah. What, 3 refills?
just film a picture, please.
There are some items in the player's handbook, adventuring gear, that I'm looking at and thinking, what? This is interesting. What was it that I spotted? The hourglass is interesting. Oh, you can buy manacles. Fancy.
we have at this point bought multiple, not insubstantial magic items, but we do not have the money for a spyglass.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, internet's definitely, Weather's definitely playing havoc with internet. Because that's twice that Rebecca's dropped out and I've dropped out as well.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm good.
Dying inside. Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm doing just fine. I lied. I'm dying inside. Okay, I will say we might have to add something to brave because we could just say the word brave quite easily. But it is a very I don't know. Okay, assume it's for next session specifically, and I guess try and get it in before it gets too far on. All right. Are you? You are muted. You are muted, Dan. If you're trying to say word things, we cannot hear you. No, it seems that you are just muted. Oh, you have unmuted. Hello.
Hello. Krista said we can all.
And that's that. That's how it ends. He doesn't actually get to finish his sentence.
Sorry, Chris has said we can all what?
Come back.
Go away. Leave us
Yeah.
alone. Never return.
That was really weird.
Yeah, I'll need to double check those settings because for some reason it's. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Sorry about that kind of.
No, that's fine. It's something I hadn't noted before. I didn't realize that for some reason it wasn't letting you talk. I need to look into that. Anyway.
That's okay.
Doing admin on stream.
It's fine. So, as you all come to and wake, Eugene and Filch mention nothing of note as you wake Curve, but the rest of you otherwise meet, and I will say heading to Casey's, you otherwise get your clothing, and if you know what you otherwise would be looking like in your new design, go ahead and Vinny and Curve, do you know what your new design might be?
Not. Yeah, not concretely yet.
Okay. No, that's quite right.
Next week.
Take your
So
time.
cool.
We'll work on stuff from there. But you pick up your winter clothing and you can wear it whenever, and it will suit you in whatever weather. But as you otherwise head out, I will say leaving for your destination, and
Did we pick up rations just to make sure we did get all the
Yes.
rations?
Yeah, I believe
Yes. Now-
Vinny did, right?
Vinny did. How many did you pick up, Vinny?
Oh, I didn't pick up enough for everyone. Like I've got 20 rations, which I thought was quite a lot for me to have on hand.
Yeah, I need to get like a specific amount of rations and horse feed still.
I will say
Okay.
this: if
And
you want to
I-
pick up long life
as well.
rations prior to it,
I would like
Um,
that. Yes.
go ahead and buy them according to the standard equipment. Rations, I believe, cost like a gold or a silver a piece,
I
but
think
then
it's
they
a
weigh
silver.
2 pounds or something.
Yep.
So they're quite heavy, but they're otherwise quite cheap. So go ahead and buy as many rations as you think you might need.
5 silver a day.
Yeah, so it's 2 for a gold.
Jesus.
Just rations.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah, five silver a day. So
And horse feed.
horse feed is exactly the same cost.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, feed is technically cheaper, but you typically buy it by the crate, which you can't actively carry, so you're having to buy specific kinds of rations for Starlight.
All right, I'm gonna spend 8 gold pieces to get 16 more rations.
Okay.
I already had 15, so it just Yeah, I feel like that's probably decent to have 31 hanging around for me, along with a few other bits and pieces I've got.
We
So
can pick up more anytime we go into a town. We can try and hunt as we travel.
Yeah.
I've got 7, so it's taken me 15.
I will
I've
say
got
Mortar, you'd probably be the only one who might really have understanding of this. In the Ice King's domain, there are only 3 cities. Towns are made up of moving vehicles. They tend
that's so
to
cool.
leave and move depending on the weather. Meaning that if you were going to find a town, it might not be there when you get there.
Understood.
So make sure that you over-prepare rations in case the town you're going to isn't there. There are buildings that are set in stone there in places, but if you were to go there, you might find, say, a tavern, and that's it. So keep that in mind, that in terms of villages, there are very few, if not none, really, in the Ice King's domain. Same
Also,
goes
I
for
need some money
campsites.
first off.
Yeah, same goes for campsites. There
Yeah.
are no safe places to sleep, so you'll need to forage and find them.
I have a minor question about the horse feed in the inventory.
Yeah.
Well, I've currently got 2, but they're £10 each in weight.
Yeah.
Is that per day?
I believe you got them per week because we didn't want to track it all so quickly.
That makes
So
more
you
sense.
bought a bunch of horse feed, and then you were just going to feed Starlight that like once a week, or when we remembered, basically going from town to town.
Cool,
And
that
that's
makes
where
more
we're
sense.
going to have you consume it. But given we haven't got any towns coming up, if you want to break that into, let's say you have 10 of them and they weigh 1 each. That sort of thing. And then we'll do it day by day. It does mean you lose 4 days, but should be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So with that, you begin to otherwise settle out on your journey. Now, while we are all here and before we end the session...
Sorry, I still didn't get to talk to the Taskmaster.
Oh, that's right. We'll have you go and do that in the morning after...
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
While that's going on. Or actually, we can do it off stream. We can say you go there and talk to him about that. Okay. So, after doing that, collecting the winter clothing, gathering any last minute rations as the stores begin to open up more fully in preparation for it, you begin to get ready to leave. What path are you going to be taking, party? I'm going to ask this ahead of time. And if you wish to discuss it next time, we can.
When we say path, what are our most reasonable options? Because if we're at Zaka's Crossing currently, yeah.
You could take a day and a half journey to Braylon, and then from there you could follow the road down to the Ice King's domain. Alternatively, if you don't need to make a stop at Braylon, you could just cut straight down across country. And if you get good weather rolls, good travel rolls, and you roll well, you could get there in quicker time. You could potentially even come across something strange or unique. And then from there, you've got the rest of the road ahead of you, which is unknown. You have no map.
Yeah.
I'm
Braylon
torn.
Be a good place to buy a map?
Braylon might. Otherwise, Zaka's Crossing would be the only place that might. But if I remember correctly from history, finding maps that people are willing to sell is quite difficult, because pioneers don't like to sell their maps to people because of copying reasons.
I mean, luckily, we might have some bits and pieces we can work with because we're members of certain guilds.
You've got a cat who can draw it.
Yeah. True. It's one of those that you can get.
I would say it might not be a terrible idea for us to go direct to the Ice King's domain if we've got all necessary supplies. As long as we make sure we map it out as we go along, and try and make sure that we've got. If we get to a critical point where and see how we're doing, and make sure we've got enough supplies to get us to Braylon, if we do have to book it somewhere.
Yeah, and if you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I still need to do that sending for Vinny. and
Maybe picking up a compass wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if we've already got one.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
that's fair. And at some point before we hit the cold, need to try and summon Cinder, which you're probably gonna want to rest after, depending on how bad it goes.
Okay. So, I will say, did you want to head to Braylin or just cut straight across and go straight to the Ice King's domain?
I would say we should probably go via Berlin.
Hmm.
I don't know how much time we'd save by cutting straight across. Probably no more than a day or so.
On foot, yeah, about half a day to a day is the time that you'd save.
Yeah,
But it's also a matter of you might come across stuff.
Yeah, we'd risk.
But remember that
losing the road while heading into unknown territory.
True, but if we then run the risk of coming across something that might be beneficial to us. A lot of the time, going through a new area could provide us some benefits that we wouldn't get going along a normal road, and I don't believe that Braylin necessarily has much that we couldn't get in Zaka's Crossing in the first place. Having said that, and my main one is thinking, if we go from the direct route from Zaka's Crossing down to Ice King's Domain, a map of that has got to be worth something.
Yeah.
Fair.
But again, having said that, it's a matter of safety versus potential gains.
Well, I don't mind either way. I mean, I'm quite happy to go the direct route if it saves 1 day travel. Because we could end up getting halfway through a journey and then ended up, 1 day could turn into like 3 or 4 additional days. I'm just thinking of when we went to the fortress.
Just to check, does anyone have anything in Braylin that we'd need to go to Braylin for?
No?
No, don't believe so.
Then, yeah, that's where I'm thinking. But obviously, it comes down to what everyone else feels. My
If it
vote
helps,
is, yeah.
As a general thing, saving about half a day or so to about a day going across the wilds means that you've got a potentially higher chance of running into monsters and stuff. Could be useful, could be bad, depending on what your intention is there. If you're after monster pieces to potentially make some crafts, then great, but it could also result in some nasty situations. Also, another note, it is currently windy and lightly raining, with the looks of it getting slightly heavier and slightly windier tomorrow. So the weather may get worse.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, just in case that shifts your wants to go cross-country or via the road.
Noted.
But seeing as there's an indecision, I will let you discuss next session before we take off, and we'll see which way you want to go. So as our adventurers come to a close on this day of spending some coin from their pocket and many disconnects due to bad weather, that is where we will end tonight. So, thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.